the way, it's probably a good thing that Lucas failed his jump rolls and stuff, because as I was thinking about it after last session,
yeah,
I am pretty sure he would have just legged it. That would have been it.
Okay.
Based on his current mental illness, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what would have happened.
Yeah, it's true. Quite a lot of stuff has happened. Spend your experience points, guys. Okay.
I'm not going to buy anything this time because I've also been thinking about it. I think there might be a career change coming soon, regardless of where I'm at with the ones I do and do not have.
Okay.
So I want to think about that a little bit more.
Sure. Guys, just a heads up. Like I said, next couple of weeks can be a bit harder for me to play. I will try and update you, but just so you know, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jason, you paint a lot of small scale stuff, don't you?
I've been doing a lot of historical, really small scale, like 1 in 285 and 1 in 600 scale stuff.
I was going to say, the new contrast paints from GW are great on 10mm stuff. I've been working on some English Civil War 10mm, and it's nice. It saves a lot of time.
Yeah, I've seen Napoleonic in 10mm. Haven't done any only the only figures I've been painting, non-vehicles, have been 3mm.
Oh wow!
And they actually look pretty good. Like if you look up close, they're terrible. But like from playing distance, they actually look pretty nice.
Jason, points? Your points? I mean.
As I fall to my most certain doom, can I learn academic knowledge theology?
No.
Yeah. I'm
what
landlocked with my XP.
What about academic knowledge landing safely?
Yes. Brian, what are you rolling for?
Star Sign.
Oh, okay. Star Sign and Doom.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Brian, I don't know, your microphone is very loud, just so you know.
Okay.
Oh, now it's better. So, everyone's ready?
Yeah, I mean, I am.
Okay. On the other hand, Andrew, your microphone is a little quiet.
Let me put it closer to my face. Is that better?
Yes, now it's better.
Okay.
Okay.
Just let me know if you can hear me like breathing and stuff then. Because I got it right up there. Yeah.
Just don't breathe.
Just don't breathe, yeah. Right, so let's get to it. Lucas, you're lying on the ground because you fell. And as you're laying on the ground and the rain washes down your burnt face, and apparently you, I don't know, assemble some mechanical parts in the background.
Cleaning a brush.
Okay. You look into the gloomy night sky. Okay, that's who's making the noise?
That's not me.
Brian?
I didn't do anything.
I can hear some kind of mechanical noise, like someone I don't know is putting some metal things into something.
Yeah, I'm always on mute if I'm not talking.
Okay, now it's gone. Okay, so let's keep it that way. Anyway, you look into the night sky. Of course, completely obscured by the completely fuck's sake. Completely obscured by the clouds, and a Beastman.
Who doesn't hear that?
Yeah, I mean,
I hear it.
Hear what?
Like someone I
Like
don't know.
crackling and
Yeah.
just background noise of all different types.
It's not me. I hear it.
It's not me.
I don't hear it. Let me make sure. You know what? Let me Hold on. Let me go into my system preferences and make sure it's using my mic, not my.
Completely still, so I'm sure it's not me.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't moving, but hold on. Let's see.
It's
Do you have a quick mute button? I'm usually muted if I'm.
I mean,
not
guys,
doing
I
anything.
don't have like anything, against assembling models or stuff during games. I sometimes do this as well, but this is just too loud.
Yeah, I mean, I've been sitting here since I put the brush down. I've been sitting here. Is there a way to check to see what mic?
Is there anyone
Skype
else in the room with you?
No, I got a dryer going in the background, but
So maybe that's it.
but
But no, now for example, now I don't hear it. Now I don't hear any.
there's the problem. Is that better?
Well, first of all, it's damn loud.
Is that better?
Now it's better. Yeah.
Okay. For whatever reason, it was using my computer mic, not the mic on my headset.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Yeah, now it's cool. Now it's cool. Okay, thanks, Andy, for that. Thank you very much.
yeah, sorry about that. No, thanks for calling me out on it. I didn't realize it'd been plugged in, or for whatever reason was doing that wrong.
Nah, it's cool. I once forgot to turn the mic settings, and half of our session hasn't been recorded. I still need to make a session about this session, to tell people what happened there, because only you guys can be heard, but not me. Anyway, as you look up, your body is just a temple to pain. You suddenly see a snarling face looming above you. A snarling goat's head, covered in matted bloody fur, and you can see the axe raising above. And then you hear a shlum, and the thing falls to the ground. The tip of an arrow protruding from its left eye socket. All around you, you can suddenly hear braying and screaming. And after a split second, you realize that the screams are actually coming from the Beastmen, who are all being slaughtered. You prop yourself on your elbows. You look around, and you can see that more of the beasts went down the battlements to finish you off. You, Lucas, and two Leopolds. You, Vincent, and two Leopolds. But they are dying as arrows just drop them one after another. And then you can see tall life figures emerging from the gloomy darkness with blades in their hands, and they begin to cut the Beastmen down with incredible fluidity and economic strikes, without uttering a single sound of their own. In a few seconds, actually even quicker than that, the Beastmen have enough, those that survived, and they run away from the ghosts. Leopold and second Leopold hop towards you. Well, actually, the Faulebrand boy is just, carrying Leopold on his back. Vincent is limping towards you, holding his crutch with one hand and his sword in another. He managed to find it. You don't see Sully anywhere, but then after a split second you remember what happened to him. Vincent, I presume you help Lucas up? No.
Well, I have one hand on my balls and one hand on my sword, so I guess he's still like head on a swivel, kind of maybe standing over Leopold, making sure nothing comes out of the forest after him. He's kind of still in that. Well,
Alright.
he's dazed, obviously, so he's not really in a state to like.
You are being unceremoniously pushed away, and a tall life figure in a dark cloak approaches you, Lucas. Just, gets you up. Hurry up, human, it says. Move! And then, with more of its kind, surrounding you, you begin to run through the forest. Despite your wounds, despite one Leopold being carried by the other, but quickly he is actually helped by another of the mysterious figures, so it's easier for him. You begin to run through the forest. And this turns essentially, for the next few hours, I'm not even kidding, into a running bow battle with the Beastmen. As the strangers that helped you move incredibly quickly and through the dense, not canopy, but through the dense forest, stopping every few minutes and losing arrows into the darkness, hearing the roars and screams of pain, agony, and fury. You know that most of them, if not all of them, found their mark. And then, once again, it's running time. Through the darkness, through the heavy rain, you all trip, you all get up, help each other as best as you can. During your crazy run through the forest, you've spotted that Leopold doesn't have his leg anymore, doesn't have his right leg. You've noticed that Vincent probably has smashed groin. Fowlebrand boy also sports a nasty gash on his right side, on the right side of his face. Finally, dawn breaks. But your problems didn't end there. It took another hour of running through the forest and of your mysterious saviors losing arrow after arrow into chasing beastmen before you've reached a small clearing and you were able to just drop where you were. Because you've heard one of them say, "Stop! We are safe here for now." Leopold Fowlebrand just drops to the ground. Almost, well, he would have fallen on your Leopold if not for one of the tall figures, helping him. The rest of you just also, you drop where you were standing. Like there was no alternative here. There wasn't even you weren't even able to just catch your breath and then maybe sit down. No, it was like whoop on the ground. You're exhausted. You're tired. You're bloody. You're wounded. You also see that there's another man with you, whom you haven't spotted during all those hours of running through the forest. Interestingly, because you were running for your lives and being chased by the horrible beasts of the woods. The man looks like a priest. The man, describe yourself. Also, the man, lower your microphone a bit.
Oh, I was holding it really close.
He's very vocal.
He's clean shaven, but dirty, and the rest of him is not kempt. His clothes are covered in mud, and he smells like fish. He doesn't bathe often. He has 2 dwarven hammers, and he's massive but lanky. He's about 6'8", but he's huge, but he has like thin limbs though, so he's kind of odd looking, and he looks like he's the Norskin, if you've seen any people from there before. And he just keeps to himself, and he's just mumbling some prayers to Sigmar under his breath. He has some charms of a 2-tailed comet hanging from his belt, which is just a dirty rope.
Is he like in clerical robes type of get up?
It's just like burlap and things that he's found from presumably shipwrecks, I guess, because it just smells like the sea. But it's emulating a cleric's robes.
Okay.
You get the idea. He lived out in a cave or in some little hovel or something. He's like a hermit.
All right.
Yeah.
Is his name Herman?
No, he hasn't told you his name.
Anyway, your mysterious benefactors spread out through the entirety of the smoke clearing, bows in their hands. They still have arrows. You can see now that they are, of course, elves. They're all very similar to Lorinok, in that they are essentially, they're wearing boiled leather jacks underneath their forest green cloaks. They have fine swords and daggers in sheaths hanging from their belts, and quivers of arrows slung on their backs. Many of them have hoods over their heads, many of them have their faces obscured. One of them, essentially, with a beautiful sword with leaf-shaped guards hanging from his belt, and a shield with a tree motif on his back, approaches you. He looks almost exactly as the rest, except for the fact that his long cloak is clasped in place with a silver pin. You can clearly see that they are all traveling very light. He takes off his hood and the shawl covering his face. You see his alien stare at you. This is a bit disconcerting. Since you don't really know what this thing is actually thinking or feeling.
Nothing human, I bet.
I am Coriel. Humans. I am a leader of this Kif band. We came here to search for one of our own, and we found him. You see that Lorinok actually managed to survive, even though he's a bit bloody. We've aided you in your battle. Now we are going to escort you from these woods. The Beastmen are still out there, but for now they're gone. Which of you need medical attention?
Vincent probably leans to the side and pukes because of what he went through.
At that, Lucas probably starts laughing. Like that's the most absurd thing he's ever heard, because it kind of is, since, they're all clearly beat to hell.
Yeah. Very well. We shall only administer the most basic of healing here. When we reach safety, we'll try and help you more. Or perhaps you don't want our help?
I'll take any help I can get at this point. Vincent's still holding himself while trying to sheath his sword with one hand, and you can see he's not having the easiest time.
Yeah.
Except Lucas is gonna make a crack about how the stunt. Oh wait, never mind, wrong person. Never mind. Scratch that.
We've also helped this man here, and he points to the strange, lanky, priest-like fellow. He almost got killed by the Beastkin, but fortunately we were there to help him. Strange man, perhaps you would like to introduce yourself to your mates. He doesn't talk much.
More my mates than an elf.
I want to say,
You see, when he said that, a few of the elves like looked at him and put their hands on the hilts of their weapons, but Koryo just raised his hand and just shook his head, said something in his very melodic voice, and they simply continue. They simply continue their vigil.
Lucas is laughing again.
I want to say, one of your kin was left back at the coach house.
I am
Kind of recognizing that he's a Sigmarite.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking to the elf.
No, I'm talking to the new Sigmarite. And kind of looking at him to see how he replies.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
you see that Koryo snapped his fingers and two of his men begin to administer first aid to you. They first of all they take care of Leopold's leg. Then they take a look at you, Lucas. They apply some salves on your face and chest, stuff like that. Then they move to Vincent and unceremoniously push you to the ground, rip your pants, and
whoa! I didn't know it was gonna be that kind of game.
yeah, and you see they don't have any qualms about this. It's like they're doing this in a very mechanical way, and
they eat dinner first.
Yeah, and they also apply some sort of strange herbal concoction to your groin, which helps.
Whoa!
But you can see that the elves, when they're doing this to you, each of you can see that they are disgusted. Not because not because of your wounds, but because they have to touch humans. You're almost certain. It's like they're ugh. It's like they're you think that they're probably thinking that they're touching a very filthy animal.
they kind of are at this point.
Yeah.
Have I had any like dreams or anything like indicating anything loosely that I should be looking for these people?
No. Should you?
No. No. Just like he has dreams, but he kind of interprets it however he... Like, you know what I mean? It's all made up anyway.
We'll write about this more later, Brian, but no, you didn't. Anyway,
sure, okay.
You can now speak while the elves are doing their funny business.
Where are you men headed?
Lucas is going to look at him kind of suspiciously and basically just say, out of here.
Eastward, along the river. That's all.
Is it?
Oh, Vincent
Out of
says.
character, that's towards Altdorf eventually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Because my map is sideways.
Hold on just one second. My kid won't quit calling for me.
Where are you heading? Like, Vincent's, like, grunting as he's, being worked on. This will go easier if you put some emotion into it, guys.
I start rummaging through my bag, not being really forthcoming with information. And I say, eastward. And I take out some dried fish and just kind of munch on it and pull the bones out of my teeth.
You have like 8 copies of Minecraft.
Always to the east.
Sorry about that. My kid wants a different version of Minecraft from the 4 versions of Minecraft he already has.
No worries. You see, sorry, what's your name, Mr. Vrentar? You see that the young man who, of all of them, looks essentially the least wounded, approaches you, bows to you. Father, I'm Leopold Fowlerbrand. Nice to meet you.
A nod to him.
So
kind of a-
I just missed confirmation that he's a Sigmarite priest.
you see that he's a Sigmarite priest, essentially.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of hammer charms
Yeah.
and like two-tailed comets and
Well,
fish. And,
Sigmarite monk more probably, but you know.
yeah.
We are traveling east, following the Crusade of the Child. When he said that, you see that the elves all like put their heads up, like wing.
Yeah, my eyes kind of brighten too when he says that.
We are following them for some time now. These men are very decent, and he points towards Lucas, Leopold, and Vincent.
At that, Lucas laughs as well.
Leopold looks at you strangely. Anyway, we've lost one of our own back at the Reaper's Bounty, a halfling.
The Reaper's Bounty.
Yeah, you see that when suddenly, Coreo just, Coreo and Lorinok like took a few steps away and they begin to speak quietly in between each other while also, looking at you from time to time. Of course, they speak in their own language.
So, as I said before, there was a Sigmarite priest back at the Bounty. You wouldn't happen to be part of his little carriage parade. Vincent's kind
I
of
care
stuttering
not for what
between
others
words.
do. Did you hear me?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for someone to do anything.
Yeah,
Or speak.
Vincent kind of cuts the conversation at
This,
that point.
Crusade of the Child. they're calling it?
Leopold just looks
What
at you,
is this?
and just like, fuck's sake. Alright, Father, since my comrades are not especially not talkative types, and we are down one man, perhaps you would like to honor us and follow us for a bit?
Yeah, I'd like to learn more about this crusade you speak of.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, out of character.
Or?
Brian, you've heard about it.
Yeah, but I want to know what they know because I don't know who they are. So I want to hear it. Are they following it to put it down, or are they following it because they believe he's a prophet or something?
Yeah.
Or like Sigma Reborn.
By the way, Lucas is looking very disinterested throughout this whole thing.
Alright.
Like it's not like I'm not being silent because I just don't know what to say. Like he literally doesn't care because that's his personality.
You see that the elf, the leader, Coreo, approaches you after speaking to Lorinok. I would like to ask you, what are your plans concerning the so-called crusade of the child? Where do you actually all come from?
Where haven't we come from?
And where are you heading?
Well, I guess we're following this entourage of the Sigma Reborn.
Lucas interrupts with, "We're going to kill a bunch of MFers." My kid's in the other room, so I can't say it, but just like he wants it. He wants this to be over. This whole conversation to be over
So
with.
you want to kill this so-called human prophet, yes?
I kind of hesitantly look at Lucas, being like, "Oh, let's not give too
I
much
spit
away."
out some fish bones.
Answer me, human.
Yes, that's why I said it.
Very well. We will accompany you then, because we need to discern the danger that this child presents to the world, if any at all.
Lots.
Excellent. In this case, we shall, like I said before, accompany you. The first aid has been applied to you. In a few hours we'll rest more, and then we'll try to do something about your mate's leg. when he said mate, he didn't mean like buddy. He mean like when there's a herd of animals. Like
that would be I don't know, mate wouldn't be the right word
which word
for that.
Which word would that be?
Trying to, because the way you would say it in English would be like pack mate.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't refer to, like, it's one word, and you wouldn't refer to like friend, like it wouldn't be a double entendre.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what he means is that he treats you as essentially he speaks to you,
right?
As if you are a pack of animals, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
So those of you who can walk, stand and walk. Those of you who can't, speak, and my man will help you.
I guess if Vincent can walk, he's gonna get back up.
Yeah,
after
you can.
He's been,
Essentially, the salves and the healing that they've administered to you are miracles. Are miracle, is a miracle medicine, so to speak, because the pain is almost gone. Lucas, you don't even feel, the burn pain that's been essentially with you
nice.
for days now. You all probably realize that they will eventually wear off, but for now, it's incredible. You can, Vincent, you can normally walk. You see that Leopold is not scratching his head wound anymore. Lucas, you are able to, like I said, you don't hiss with pain anymore, like with your every movement. Of course, your Leopold is still legless.
Legolas.
Yeah, Legolas. But the Fowlerbrand kid and another of the Wood Elves just, take him under each arm, and you move away. Vlental, I presume that you're going with them.
Yeah.
No, Vrentar. I mean,
sorry,
Brian.
It seems as though we're heading the same direction for now.
All right. So you are essentially moving north and then east through the woods. At first paralleling the road, which the Wood Elves say is being watched by Beastmen, and then continuing straight as the road curves south. You move swiftly and essentially rather silently, without. It's practically, it's practically light already, but bright already. But in Dragwold, you probably could still use a torch or a lantern, but of course the elves don't use any of this. You travel through the dripping woods, and Sandy, you saw that Coriel made a very small hand gesture, and two of his men disappeared into the woods. He also made, the gesture for everyone else to stop, and said something quietly in his strange melodic voice. After a few seconds, you can hear cursing, shouting, and something big moving through the woods. And through the, in front of you, from the bushes, the two elves emerge. One of them holding Nils with, on the shoulder, tightly with his hand. The other, essentially pushing Father Johannes in front of him, kicking him in the back of his leg. Johannes falls to the ground, and you see that the Wood Elf, draws with one swift motion this beautiful swift-looking slim dagger, and puts it to his throat. Johannes, of course, is shouting, "Let me go, kittens! Let me go! Father! Father, no!" says Nils. Coriel, barks something in his language. The elf looks at him, looks at Johannes, and puts away his hand with the dagger, but still keeps him pinned to the ground. "Let me go! I am a Templar of Sigmar! I am an Inquisitor! Damn you!"
At that, Lucas gets a little antsy because he knows we're being hunted by Inquisitors. I don't know that he realized that, but he's going to stir the pot a little with our new.
So he was
Sigma.
hiding in the bushes or something?
I think he was following us.
No, they were probably making their way through the bushes, and the elves heard them. You didn't hear them, but the elves, well, they're pretty good with the hearing stuff. So you know. Yeah.
Lucas is probably going to drop something about these are cowards and can't be trusted.
Are these your comrades? Asks Coriel.
A follower of Sigmar would have called out to us.
Lucas is going to say we know of them. But they hid from the Beastmen like cowards.
We're not cowards. We managed to escape. The Beastmen, they were chasing us. Cries the boy. You see that Lorinok approached Coriel, whispers something to his ear. Coriel said something to the two elves holding them. They've moved away with one swift motion, almost, in a very synchronized manner, and they've sheathed their weapons. Well, one of them did, anyway. Very well, they can follow us. You make sure
Lucas
that...
curses under his breath because he didn't really want them following us.
You make sure that they won't make too much noise, human. He looks at you, Lucas.
Now he has a grin on his face.
Very well. Move out, says Coriel, and once again the elves and you move through the woods. Of course, I don't have to tell you that even though you're moving fast, you are all, tripping, you're stepping on fallen twigs, almost falling over, roots, stuff like that, while the elves, they essentially move like ghosts through the forest, like they are part of it. Even Lorinok, who is rather heavily wounded, and you can see that on his pale face, that he does, he does hurt. You can speak, by the way, throughout the journey if you wish so. Of course, only quietly, because the elves, they want to maintain the silence. Except for Johannes, who is essentially saying stuff like, "Watch where you're going! Lift! Higher! Hold me steady, Sigmar, curse you!" Because Nils is one. He is carrying the huge golden hammer encrusted with gems on his back. Gems, sorry. Gems?
Gems.
Gems on
like
his
with
back.
a J, like a J.
Yeah, okay. Because gem in Polish means confiture. Like, something that you smear on the bread. Something made from...
Oh, that's jam.
Yeah, jam.
In English, would be jam.
One thing, he's holding this thing on his back, on this strange, wooden rack, and he also needs to help his master, who is simply too fat to move with any...
Lucas is in charge of keeping him quiet, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of smacking.
You're smacking him, okay.
Oh yeah, every time.
How dare you! I'm an Inquisitor Sigmar! Do you know what will happen to you?
Which gets him another smack.
Ah! Stop hitting him, says Nils. He's a priest of Sigmar. Have you no shame? Are you a heretic?
I'm going to give him the two-finger thing that I guess they do in the Warhammer world like the English do.
Oh.
Instead of the American middle finger.
Okay, oh, this is... Yeah. So, just so I know, Rentar, what are you doing with that? Out of curiosity.
With what?
Well, with smacking a high-ranked priest of Sigmar.
I didn't smack him.
No, Lucas is having his way with the...
Yeah.
I was told to keep him quiet.
Yeah,
and when I smack him, it's accompanied by a shh.
But you
so
see...
it's clear that I'm, doing what I was told to do.
Is it like what is it? What kind of smack?
Well, I mean, if I'm behind him, to the back of his head kind of stuff. I mean, it's not like a backhand across the face or anything. But it's very patronizing, and it's, I mean, I'm not trying to hurt him, but I'm not trying to hurt him.
You're not rolling for damage.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm basically trying to make him miserable.
So,
a coward as he is a man of the cloth.
No, he's not.
Ooh.
I am your superior, says Johannes to you, Vrentar. Defend me from this heathen.
What is your name?
I am Father Johannes Seibold.
No, I'm talking to Lucas.
Oh. Okay.
Looks at him. I look at him, and instead of answering, he basically says, "Nah, he's a coward who ran. A real priest of Sigmar doesn't run like a." And then he uses.
No, I'm asking your name.
Yeah, I know, and Lucas is ignoring that question. Again, I got kids in the other room, so I can't say exactly what he'd say. But
I walk up and I help the Johannes to his feet.
All right.
Maybe you could keep him quiet, Vincent says to the new.
I'm basically looking at him like.
What? Brian, once again, because you were breaking up.
Yeah, like I'm basically looking at him like he's a shit inept boss, but he's still a boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you can clearly see even from the rings on his fingers and from the hammer that his aide is carrying on his back, that this is a very high-ranking priest. I'm of course. What?
Like I'm a hermit, but I still respect the hierarchy.
Yeah.
What's your name, monk?
Renthar is what they call me.
Well, Renthar, can you keep him quiet?
I am a high-ranking priest of Sigmar, damn you! How dare you speak to me like that? And suddenly, Coriel emerges in front of you and says to you, if you won't make this man quiet, in a second or so from now, I will personally slit his throat. Am I making myself clear? Humans.
At that, Lucas has another giant grin on his face and offers to help.
You see that, Fowlerbrand boy just looks at you. Come on, guys, keep it quiet. We're not out of the woods yet.
I'm surprised Lucas didn't, pinch him to make him scream.
I whisper
He did it! He did it!
Oh, sorry.
What are you whispering, Grentar?
I want to whisper some scripture to Johannes about I don't know, something something about tactfulness,
Well, I mean, he's essentially not listening to you. He just, of course, he takes your help, and throughout the journey he says, "Help me, faster, higher, help me with that. You're as useless as as this young stutterer here." Because Nils has a stutter, essentially. He's like that. I'm not going to roleplay this every time, but I will try. But Coriel's threat worked, and even though Johannes is essentially furious, and with indignation and with what's happening to him, you can hear him muttering something about heathens, unclean spirits from the forest, saying things like, "I've heard that these elves, they steal children in the middle of the night." Stuff like that. He's not making any more fuss. Eventually you've reached another clearing, like an hour or so later, and the elves applied another round of salves for all of you, except Johannes. But then again, he and Nils are practically fine except for a few scratches on their faces and, some torn clothes. They went away easy. So yeah, you've gotten another round of healing. So let's make it simple. Each of you are on 4 hit points right now. So you're all treated as lightly wounded.
It's been the first time in a long time.
Yeah. And you have now another chance to to speak to each other, or I don't know, maybe insult each other. Leopold, you can all see that the elves are, 3 of them are working on Leopold's leg, cleaning the wound, making sure that it's bandaged as best as possible. One of them went into the forest and came a few minutes later with a long branch, a couple of long branches that he's turning into a crutch. And another elf is speaking something quietly to Leopold, Fowlerbrand. Leo approaches you and says, "All right, our our saviors, I guess, say that Leopold will be waking up soon. They are making a crutch for him. So that's that." Yeah.
I'm going to.
Are we going to, I don't know, honor one of our fallen? Or are we not going to do that? I mean, you knew him for much longer than I did.
Oh, what's the movie where with the line about if you die, I'm taking your gear?
I don't remember.
Was that Full Metal Jacket?
Perhaps.
Yeah, that's kind of the response. I mean, obviously, it's basically it's a little late for that now, and we don't really have time.
Kind of, well,
Leopold
realization.
looks at you strangely. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could pray for Sally or something. And I think
A realization of Vincent kind of like shows on his face, and he's a bit ashamed because he's probably the closest to. Well, he was pretty close to Sally. Probably a little more to Leopold, but
yeah.
Also, the whole Moore thing.
Yeah, and he's been in another state of mind since the wall.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
life is coming back to him now that they're like slowing down and finally being able to breathe, and so Vincent kind of nods.
Did the halfling fall with the sword in his hand?
With a dagger, says Leopold. But he fought to the last. At least I think so. After I fallen from the walls, I was regaining and losing consciousness. But in a flash of lightning, I saw him go down to a Beastman's spear. He didn't had one arm, and he still fought against them.
I'm trying to remember. Did Vincent go down before Sally?
Well, first of all, you went down completely on the other side of the tower. You had your back to him. You don't really remember that. Out of character, yes, you did went down before him.
Okay, so,
yeah,
this is
Lucas
the
will say
first time.
something. We'll say something about like he died the way you Sigmarites like to die, or something like that. Like some not necessarily disrespectful, but kind of expressing that it was a warrior's death, so to speak, even though he may himself not have been a warrior.
Yeah.
I don't take offense to it. That was a
so
that's a compliment.
Father, maybe you could say a small prayer for him. Asks Leopold.
I make the.
Vincent's going to say, "I'll say something," and then
you look at the single-eyed.
Appropriate.
Yeah, you look at a single-eyed weirdo with bloody pants torn up. Oh, by the way, what's your name? Ventar. You see that of all of them, all of their gear and clothes are essentially in a horrible condition, except for this one-eyed man's sword, which is very strange. It's like no blade you have ever seen.
Is there any indication that Vincent is a
Morite? No, I don't think so.
like it's a paladin of Moore?
No.
Okay.
No. He looks like a vagabond. They all do. Well, I mean, Leopold, the Leopold Fowlerbrand looks like he just jumped here from the city, and because he's dressed in a cityman's outfit.
Vincent's
I probably don't look much better, so.
No.
Vincent's going to grab 2 silver pieces from his pocket and kind of rub them between his index finger and his thumb. Just kind of starts mumbling to himself.
Mm-hmm. He mumbles something.
Yeah, he's mumbling prayers to Moro, so the others might pick up, more, or, send him on his way. But little lines like that, but it's more of a personal, just between Vincent and
Yeah.
himself.
Oh, and Vincent does that. You see that Leopold also went quiet and bowed his head. It went
Because
for-
this is the first time Vincent heard about what happened. Like I guess he realized that Sally wasn't with him, but
Yeah.
he didn't realize Sally
Was
went
dead.
down.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I'm gonna stand with reverence, but I'm not bowing my head.
Of course. Father, if I may, asks Leopold, what are your plans with the crusade?
Want to see it,
Excuse me?
and then I'll decide.
Come again,
I
Father?
said I want to see it, and then I'll decide.
Mm.
At that, Vincent's going to kind of...
Because, from what I understood, and he looks at you, Lucas, we are going to do not a lot of seeing, but, well, more of killing.
Ewan basically, or Ewan.
I
Lucas
look the
basically
group over
responds with a nod of his head.
Out of character,
I
Andrew...
look the group over to see if they're serious.
Yeah, I mean, you see that Leopold just nods his head and, with his eyes having the look of, yeah, I guess we have to do this. Probably because Lucas said that and he's a much more senior member than he is. I don't know about Vincent.
Vincent's a little...
Well, to be honest, I rarely leave my cave to just go see things.
Let's see what Vincent does and looks first. Vincent?
Vincent's kind of indecisive because he knows what his own investigation came up with, so he's pretty sure that never mind. He knows that the Sigmarite child is corrupt or something like that. I think that's understood at this point. But he's still kind of keeping his hands to himself.
I guess what my comrades here don't say out loudly, says Leopold, especially, looking at you, Lucas, especially, but are probably thinking for a few hours now, is that if we are going to have trouble with you, Father.
Did somebody send you to follow this entourage of the child of Sigmar? Vincent kind of looks...
The two-tailed comet sent me.
Vincent kind of looks up at the sky. When was this?
I am Sigmar's hammer, and I am guided by the comet.
Oh, if we were in a different situation, get a line about Lucas being Tal's member.
Tal's member?
Yeah, I got a kid in the other room.
Oh.
Yeah, that kind of member.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Not a member of Tal, but Tal's physical member. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, Father, you didn't answer my question, says Leopold.
Which is, are we traveling together?
Brian, there's something wrong with your call. You're breaking up every, second sentence. I don't know why, but...
I'm gonna get on.
Yeah, can you do something about it?
Discreetly, Vincent's going to kind of create a small hole with his foot,
Mm-hmm.
and then drop the 2 pieces of silver
Mm-hmm.
and cover them with the dirt. making sure that Lucas doesn't see it because he knows
Yeah,
Lucas has wandering hands.
yeah, that Lucas will
Can you
just...
hear me now?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's actually really funny that you say that because I was gonna say if it was grabbable, I was gonna grab it.
Yeah, Vincent's aware, so he's keeping an eye. He's less concerned about everybody else, but he's certainly
Yeah.
trying to keep it from Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, if
You
you
can
Seems
roll
as though
for
the
that if
comment
you
has
want.
led you.
No,
no, I mean, I think...
no, it's not that important. It's
Yeah.
just
Okay.
So, father, says
I'll
Leopold,
remove 2 silver.
I'm
It
asking...
seems as though the comet has led me to you.
That's still not the answer to my question. I am asking because we've already lost one of our own, and we are going to do probably some very questionable things in the near future. I've actually pledged myself to this man here, and I want to make good on my promise. And I know that you're a Sigmarite, naturally. So I'm actually asking if we are going to have any problems with you.
Aren't you all Sigmarites as well?
I personally respect Sigmar, but I'm not exactly visiting him every Sunday, if you know what I mean.
Isn't
fold my
Leopold
arms
a
and look at him.
Sigmarite? Pretty Sigmarite-y.
yeah,
Oh.
Leopold, the other Leopold, the Sean.
Our
is,
Leopold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Sean.
the other Leopold, he's a staunch Sigmarite, but he also knows what has to be done with the child. Apparently, I don't know. This man told me that, and now the elves are telling me that. I'm just a single person. There's a lot of them, so I'm not going to say no. Besides, I saw things in my home village that made me question everything, and I wouldn't mind blowing off some steam on some kind of hidden heretic.
At that, Lucas lets out another hearty laugh and pats him and slaps him on the back like in a good-natured manner.
Yeah.
He finds that the bit about there's more of them than me to be hilarious.
Yeah. So, last
We,
time, Father, are you going to make any problems for us?
I was going to ask you the same thing, but it seems as though
Yeah.
we have a common goal.
So you are going to off the kid with us, right?
I was going to burn him.
What?
I was going to burn him specifically.
Oh, alright.
Works for me.
As Sigmar would want.
Excellent. Have you done talking? Asks Coriel, who suddenly, appears right behind you. We've took care of your friend's legs. He will need this, and he points his head towards a crutch being made from a couple of, branches and sticks and being prepped against a tree, the same tree under which Leopold lies.
Is he awake?
Not yet, but he should wake before we reach the crusade.
All right. Well, I'm going to help. If I'm feeling a lot better now after the treatment, I want to help Leopold.
You see the Leopold, the other Leopold, raises his hand. Nah, I'm feeling better than you. I'll help him.
Then I'll grab the crutch then, and then
all right.
carry the crutch.
Save your strength, he says. The elves, of course, didn't help Johannes and Nils with their scratches and, minor wounds. Something that Johannes probably thinks is a huge affront, but he's too afraid to say anything, and Nils just, sits there looking sheepishly at you, at the elves, at his master. He probably thinks, how did he end up in a situation like that?
I'm going to, as we start moving, the servant of the priest, I want to ask him,
Niels.
Yeah. Where are you heading?
Well, we are heading with you now, Miner.
And when will you go your own way? Because I feel that if you follow us to the next town, it will get us in trouble. And that'd not be a good thing for us.
I go where my master goes. I must serve him. It is my duty as a Sigmarite, as a priest in training.
And it is your duty to know where he is going, I'm sure. So, where's your final location?
Well, our final location was... I mean, we were sent to investigate this whole crusade. And now, from what I've gathered, we are following the crusade, so... That's where we are going, Miner.
Well, be mindful of the friction that your master may cause between us, especially when we enter in the towns.
My master is a priest of Sigmar, and he commands respect, says the kid. He's not, like angry at you, but he's like, repeating the formula.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hint that if we go into a town and this priest of Sigmar starts like saying these heathens here made me walk through the forest, and then I just don't want to get burned by the stake, and so I'm kind of being like, you're going to need to help us out.
You don't have to worry, human, says Lorinok. Even if we reach town, those two stay with us. We can risk it. Not with the kid. Not with the child. He's not saying kid, of course.
Okay, I'll nod to...
Johannes just glares at him, but he also glares at his weapons. It looks like he's almost about to say something, but then thinks better about it and doesn't say anything at all.
So, that satisfies Vincent.
Yeah.
Continues to walk.
So, once again, you move out. You feel a lot better now. You were, of course, also fed and were given water, because I don't remember if any of you had any food rations except for Ventar. So,
Yeah, I no longer do.
Yeah, so the elves shared their rations with you, and they are all excellent. All very wood elfy, if you know what I mean. Nuts, half-dried fruit. The water that they are carrying is very refreshing. Essentially, there are also some dried vegetables. Very little meat, but there is some, and it's heavily spiced. Quite tasty too. So yes, you regain some of your strength. Rentar, you of course have your food and water, so you can take care of yourself.
What kind of meat was it?
What?
What kind of meat was it?
The meat that you have?
Oh no, I thought the elves were giving us meat.
No, they didn't give you meat because you had food.
Okay, yeah.
Like I said, only the guys.
Yeah,
you have your food, you have your water. So,
Okay.
yeah. They're not... Like I said, they travel light, so they're not going to give food and water to someone who already has food and water. So sorry, Brian.
No, I actually have rations. Like, does the rest of the group?
Yes.
That's what he's saying, that the elves were giving us rations since we don't have any, but you don't get any because you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right.
Who's taking notes?
Yes, that's a good idea. That's a good question. Who's taking notes? Thank you for that.
I've got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Brian.
this is my last time.
Yeah.
Okay. I figured that's why you were asking, but I wanted to make sure since we were kind of getting into it.
You move out, and after another few hours, you see the evidence of the Kult's passage, and it is very easy to follow. You've moved to the actual road. You're no longer traveling through the forest. The elves, of course, hide their faces under hoods and masks. Angry farmers complaining of stripped fields and pilfered livestock. Inn owners missing half their staff. Cult symbols and pamphlets painted and plastered on every barn, side and tree. They are all clear evidence of the Crusades' passage, as well as, of course, a trail of, filth, excrement, rags, even a few bodies laying on the side of the road. You see that Father Johannes is absolutely exhausted, and actually Leopold asks you, Vincent, to help carry the other Leopold, while he helps Nils carry Johannes.
Yep.
Because without that, you would just, you would have to leave him behind.
I'll help carry. Is Leopold still unconscious?
Yeah.
Or is he?
Okay. He sometimes regains consciousness for a second or two, but then he once again, just falls unconscious. You can hear that Johannes is not in the least grateful, of course, complaining at every bump and lurch. Probably finding him a cart would be a blessing, but it would be a very difficult thing to do, because it's clear that the crusade already took everything along the way that wasn't nailed down.
If on our journey, if there's a moment, I want to ask the elf, why are you hunting the pilgrims?
He looks strange at you. Remember that you do carry Leopold, and it's not that easy.
Yeah. Well, this may have been something I asked before then, but it's something I've been wanting to ask.
We are unsure as to this child's true nature. He can be It would be hard for you to understand, human. Your kind does not understand finer things in the world.
Vincent kind of smiles and nods.
Let's just say that this child can be potentially cause unbalance, cause the loss of balance in the nature itself. And for now, that's all I'm going to say about this. Make sure that you and your comrades keep up with us. And with that, he once again moved to the fore of your procession. A few hours after noon, you reach a small farm town, which Nils actually tells you is called Gooten. Gootten. In a patch of cleared forest, a mile of the main road. You can smell the crusade before you even hear it. Then, of course, after smelling it, you can hear it. Because imagine a huge amount of unwashed, dirty, poor people camping in a single spot.
I know from the sound of us, we might not be able to smell them over us.
Trust me, they smell worse than you. I know it's hard to believe, but that is so. Yeah, and you can even see... sorry. Let me just say, yeah. The town is... The crusade is camped on the far side of the town, in fields surrounded on three sides by forest, and on the fourth by the town. It is a sprawling, messy sea of tents, wagons, and horses that you can actually see beyond the town. Also, most of the crusaders seem to be in the town. However, roughly 1,000 people, fanatics and townsfolk, congregate in the central square. The town is tiny, actually having only about 15 widely spaced buildings at the most, and you can see the crowd and the square from far away. Farmers and other locals travel towards the town in twos and threes to see what all the fuss is about. They are passing all of you by. Father Johannes, you hear, also wants to get closer. After all, this phenomenon is what he was sent to investigate. The elves, however, quickly take all of you off the road into the forest, to the edge of the forest so that you're away from the road, away from the town, but you can still observe everything that's happening there. A wooden platform and a round blue tent have been set up in the square. 4 crusaders in robes with blue sashes kneel with a dwarf shield on their shoulders. Another man walks a small figure out of the tent and helps him onto the shield. The 4 crusaders stand and mount the platform so everybody can see the figure, who you presume is the child. There's the strangest thing. You see that even the sight of him sends a ripple of wonder through the crowd. You can see that the people, when they saw him, they immediately reacted. Like you never saw anything like that before. No fiery priest ever was able to do something like that thing that this child right there did just now. No fiery orator, no demagogue, no nothing. No one. To you, this is astounding. From where you are, you can see that the child is speaking. You don't hear his words. And you see that when he raises his arms and speaks, the crowd becomes utterly silent, straining to hear every word, and then cheers him lustily when he finishes. Instantly, the only word is changed, you guess? From where you are, you can see a very few townsfolk are not under, the influence, and begin to argue, trying to snap their friends out of their delusion. A few violent arguments break out as the crusaders usher the child back to his tent. And you can see in the background the newly converted villagers eagerly give the crusaders the contents of their larders and their barns. Even a stern-looking priest of Sigmar is bringing the mob all his temple's finery. You also suddenly hear and feel Johannes approaching you. You can see that his eyes are glowing with avarice. By the way, you are standing in a way that the elves are, on one side, you are completely on the other. Like, there are 2 groups of you. You're not far away from each other, but you're not mixed. And he says, "Listen to me. You saw what happened there?" He, waits for a reply of any kind.
I nod.
"If you help me kidnap this child, I promise you gold and influential contacts once we bring the boy to Altdorf. This is important." You see that behind him Nils looks troubled, very troubled in fact, because of course he hears his master saying that, but he says nothing.
It's very off of this priest to kind of get into that type of mentality Vincent feels.
Well, what about the rest of you? What about Vrentar? What about Lucas?
I think Lucas might go mention that comment to the elves.
Vrentar?
The elves.
And,
I don't know what their
And
name
what
is.
do you intend to...
To basically point out that this guy appears to want to kidnap the kid for his own gains, and because I get the definite opinion that the elves want him dead.
Yeah. Well, you don't know that just yet, but there is a big chance.
Right, and so he's going to kind of mention it to the elves. Not to be manipulative, but to get them to kill the guy for him. Because if he really is a Templar, we are wanted, or whatever, an Inquisitor. Lucas, knowing that we are wanted by them, and looking out for number 1 first. He doesn't necessarily want to be the one that slits his throat, but he also wouldn't be very upset if his throat got slit.
I get it. Vrentar, what about you?
And what do you intend to do with the child in Altdorf, Father?
It's obvious this child is an opportunity. You saw what he did? It's clear that he is chosen by Sigmar himself. He can convert masses. With him, we could finally make the Empire a monotheistic country that it deserves to be. No other gods, just Sigmar.
I smile at him, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I'm gonna lean in close and whisper, "Sigmar sees you, and you need to repent, Father."
How dare you speak to me, you cur! I am an inquisitor. When we reach Outdorf, I'll have you flogged for what you're.
I start walking away.
Flogged, he says. Nils is trying to appease him. Lucas, as you approach the elves, you see that both Lorinok and Coriel, they look, and it takes you a second to realize, they look shocked. Coriel looks at you as you approach him, and he says, "Do not approach this town. There is great danger here. The aura of power around that child is like none I've ever seen."
Lucas nods his head and uses that as an opening to say, "Speaking of the power, Father," whatever that, I can't remember what the Inquisitor's name is.
He raises his hand to actually quiet you. He speaks a couple of words in his strange language with Lorinok. And, he lowers the hand, and without you even being able to say anything, he once again looks at you and says, "This is very disturbing. It goes far beyond righting the wrong done to us and our wood. A power like this loose in the dominions of men would threaten the entirety of the land. If this child, this abomination against nature, were allowed to reach his maturity, war and madness would spread across the old world. He is too powerful and too naive to know what vile ends the men around him mean to use him. He is a weapon, and indeed is as innocent as a weapon. But who controls him would perhaps become the most dangerous power the world has ever seen. The child must die."
Yeah, and I say, yeah, and so must Father, whatever his name is back there, who's trying to use him as a weapon.
He looks at you like, whatever, and then says, "All right, bring your men here."
I assume he's referring to the father, the priest.
To your party, essentially. No,
okay.
He refers
okay.
to you.
Okay. Oh, bring my men. Okay, yeah. Sorry, just wanted to make sure I understood what's going on.
Yeah.
Lucas looks over and kind of waves the rest of the party over.
Yeah. You've all made it a little bit further into the woods, so not to be at the very edge of it. You are all crouching. The elves, a few of them are covering, each approach to your position. Johannes and Nils are also being essentially guarded by 3 of the elves, and they are away from you. They're not part of this conversation, so to speak. Although they are close enough to probably hear it, because Coriel is not whispering. He's speaking quietly, but he's not whispering. "Alright, this is the plan. We will camp in the woods until nightfall, and then kill the child this very night. We will keep this man," he points towards Johannes, "here with us. And we'll send you," he points out all of you, including Leopold, who is essentially regaining his consciousness, to scout the camp beforehand to discover where the boy sleeps. After that, we'll take care of the rest. I will not let you assist in the killing. Your minds and souls are too feeble to resist this child's aura. If you would get close enough to kill him, you'd almost certainly fall under his spell. We will retire to the woods east of the camp with this man and his... No, actually with only this man. As you said, hostage, I presume. While you and his assistant will explore the camp. We will wait for you to return with the location of child's sleeping quarters. Then we will sneak inside and kill him. When you learn what you must, just walk into the woods and we will find you, says Lorinok this time. Is everything clear? Humans.
Nod my head.
Very well. Remember, learn what you must, then come back to us, report what you saw. We'll take care of the rest. He looks at you, Vincent. He looks at you, Vincent.
Sorry, I was muted.
He looks at you, Vincent.
Can you repeat the last 10 minutes? I got a message. Got distracted.
No,
Not 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Sorry.
He essentially... if any of you would lose 10 minutes of the game, don't even say things like that to me. I would be fucking pissed off.
It was like I got a phone call.
Essentially, he tells you to go to the camp, see where the boy sleeps, return, tell them they will go fuck him up.
Yep, I got that all.
And
he's just looking at me for confirmation.
Yes. If you are going to do this or not. You presume that if you're going to say that you're not, they will probably fucking kill you on the spot.
Yeah, Vincent will nod to that.
Yeah. He looks at Leopold Fowlerbrand. He just nods. And he says that the other Leopold also nods. The other Leopold is just groggy. He's not even sure exactly where he is, so, you know. But Fowlerbrand kid says that, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And then he finally looks at you, Rentar. And he looks at you with the, like... with the, you know... you know what I want to say. I don't know what I want to say. He looks at you as if he's expecting the most trouble out of you, essentially.
I look at him with suspicion.
It was an easy question, human. Do you understand what I'm asking of you?
I nod.
Will you do it?
I nod.
Very well. He says, we'll move to the east. You know what you have to do. Remember, this is not just about you. This is about the whole world. This is not a child. This is a monster. Something that can threaten this entire world. Even the most jaded of you must know this. Must realize this. And with that, they take Johannes, who's clearly unhappy, and he, you know, one last time he just looks at you. Remember my offer! And then disappears with the elves in the woods. Nils is there with you. He with his big golden hammer, you know, encrusted with jewels. He looks at you expectantly. It's clear that he will follow your lead, even though he's very unhappy about what's going on.
Look at him, tell him to put that hammer down.
I can't. This is a holy symbol.
Boy, we cannot walk in there and look inconspicuous if you are toting around a giant golden hammer.
I can cover it with a blanket. I'm not leaving it.
Actually, he probably could. Because it's all Sigmarites.
Yeah, but...
I think it would draw unwanted attention.
Yeah,
the giant golden hammer would have people looking at us. Whether they're looking at us and like, oh yeah, those guys are with us or not, they're still looking at us, and that's really.
They'll expect it to be donated, or you'd be brought. We'd all probably be brought in front of more.
That's actually a good point. Boy, if you take that there, they're going to think you're donating it, and they are going to take it from you. So you can either leave it here and keep it, or take it with you, get us all caught, get us all killed, and lose it anyway.
He looks at you. Roll for convincing.
What's that? That's but not perception.
That's your fellowship.
Well, maybe. Oh, just straight up fellowship.
No, it's a skill. You have to have it, essentially.
Oh, I got haggle.
I think it's haggle. Honestly, no, haggle is for the.
That's usually for buying junk.
Yeah, there is a skill that can essentially, make
Is it
people persuasion. Yeah.
Yeah, persuasion, or am I thinking of another game?
I mean, in Polish, this skill is called persuasion in the book.
Well, I don't have anything that would even be remotely close to any skill like that.
Wait,
other
let
than
me
tackle.
see. Let me see.
Yeah, let me see if what I've got.
Shit, not this.
Well.
Because this is a basic skill.
Oh, it is a basic
Charm.
skill?
Charm.
Yes.
Ah, and I do have that.
Remember,
But my fellowship is terrible. So.
Yeah, remember about your fellowship. Yeah.
Oh man.
You see that the kid is essentially unconvinced. You know that he won't do this because he's been conditioned. But Fowlebrand, he just puts out his blanket. He says to the kid, "Come on, take your blanket. Take your blanket. Let's wrap this up."
Yep, and tie it up too.
Yeah. But don't show this to any of these people out there. We don't. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. He looks at you, Vrentar, but I'm pretty sure that this kind of groups are also made from a lot of less savory types, if you know what I mean. They'll see this kind of thing and they'll just slit your throat. And ours as well. Lucas, he looks to you. I think you're in the lead.
Oh, wait, who's looking at me? Is it the boy or is it Lucas Fowlebrand?
Fowlebrand. Leopold Fowlebrand.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, yeah, I've got a massive headache. It's hard for me to keep anything straight.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna like snap his fingers and just roll his eyes because he's not happy that we're even taking it. But he's just gonna kind of snap his fingers at the boy, like hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah, I mean the boy is ready. He has this, wrapped thing on his back.
Okay.
The cage, the wooden cage. I mean not the cage, the wooden what's the word? Contraption that the hammer is strapped to is already covered. So there's not even a single piece of it, peeking through.
And he's gonna look at him last say like, if anybody asks, you're carrying all our camping gear.
Yeah, or even some kind of reliquaries, Sigmarite reliquaries, like normal reliquaries,
Don't stick with camping gear. Nobody's gonna slit our throats for that.
Oh, you'd be surprised, says Leopold.
Yeah.
All right, I'll need to help our Leo. Come on, big boy, he says, and he props Leopold up, puts a crutch in his hand, and still supports him. All right, let's do this. Lucas, you're leading the way, or perhaps Vrentar would like to take charge.
Yeah, I'm gonna let's stick Vrentar in front because, well, honestly, I look dressed pretty similar to him if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you have rags on you essentially.
Yeah, I think that maybe the two of us take the lead because one Lucas doesn't really know if he can trust him yet, but two, it looks.
Yeah.
We match, so.
All right.
Where are we right now? Are we still in the elves camp?
You're not in the elves camp. You're in the forest to the west of the Guten. We're
away from the elves right now.
The elves are already gone, man. The elves are gone.
Okay.
They went to the east. You are to the west of Guten. To the east from you, hugging the north and east side of the forest, and to the south, the village itself, is the Crusade of the Child's encampment, which has been essentially, which has been set up on the fields outside of this very small village. Like I've said, only 15 buildings are in the village. So what you need to do is to, I don't know, either go from the north, go inside the village first and, I don't know, check it out, and then move to the encampment, or do something else.
Do we really trust some elves to not take this job for nefarious purposes the same way as the priest of Sigmar did?
Oh, they want to kill it, so.
Do they?
Yeah, I I thought they declared that we scouted out and then they were going to go in and kill it.
Right, but what he's saying is, how do we know they're really going to kill it?
Why wouldn't they kill it? Says Leopold.
I thought that's what a High Priest of Sigmar would have done.
Got a point.
That is true. Either way, it would certainly screw up whatever nefarious plans they have.
I mean, they're elves, says Niels. You can't trust elves.
I think we'll need their help to get in to stage the attack, but I think we should actually do the attack.
But they said that we are not to attack this... the child, says Leopold.
Do we know where they're going? I don't think we should get close to the child.
Actually, Lucas is going to agree with that. He's pointing out in the state all of us are in.
Guys, look, says Leopold. I'll be honest with you. I want to be done with this stupid thing and go to Altdorf. I promise to take you there. The elves want to kill the kid? Let them fucking kill the kid. Let's not overthink this.
Worst case
That's a good
scenario,
point, too.
we need to know where it's at, so...
No, we need to fucking scout the encampment, tell them where it is, go to the forest, let them die attacking the child, and then we can go to Altdorf. In Altdorf you have opportunities. You have money there. I have contacts there.
Agreed.
So, can we just go to the fucking encampment, see where the kid sleeps, and, leave this whole thing behind us?
Yes.
He makes a good point.
Thank you, father. Or perhaps you want to charge there single-handedly and kill the child.
I meant later, when the elves are attacking.
Right, then go later with the elves. I don't fucking care. I want to be out of this pickle as soon as possible. Lucas, lead the way.
All right.
How do you approach the village?
Do we have a map? Or
No.
Basically, Lucas is going to want to approach in where the most people are approaching in, so that we look the least out of place.
Okay, I am actually going to draw now, which, if you know me, this is a horrible idea. Also, after this drawing, we'll take a exactly 5-minute break. All right, so get ready. Here it comes. Shit. No, wait.
what were you drawing?
Nothing. No, just kidding. Okay, so this is how it looks. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I hate this fucking... Okay. Okay, so this is the first, forest wall. This is the second forest wall. This is the third. And now I'm going to draw the fields. Yeah, these are the fields. Something like this. This is the road here, which you were traveling on, through or whatever. And basically this here, something like this, is the village. Yeah, just roll with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there are of
idea.
course couple other buildings on the other side, like here. Yeah, these are the fields. See, they even have this funny thing that the fields have on them. I don't know what they're called in English.
Fences, crops.
Crops, yes, crops. Thank you. The green is the forest, and you are currently somewhere here. Let's say, if the fucking Roll20 will actually allow me to use the colors like I intend to. Thank you very much. The elves are somewhere here, to the east, because this is west, this is east. The crusade is where the fields are. The rest of the area is the village, small village, and just an empty space in front of the village where they've removed the trees, so as to make some space between the forest and the village. So that's the map for now. Yeah, and 5-minute break.
Okay, I'm gonna go make some coffee.
Cool.
So who's still on? Oh, tired.
I'm back.
Howdy, howdy. So you doing 10mm Civil War?
English Civil War, yeah.
English Civil War.
Yeah.
What
28. fair, but
I'm trying to think what era is the English Civil War? Is that
It's
the
1640s.
War of the Roses?
no. Well, technically that's another English Civil War.
Yeah.
No, it's 1640s.
Okay.
So it's Cromwell.
Okay.
Cromwell and Charles the Second, Charles the First, Charles the Second.
Yeah, I'm not too privy to that area in history.
Yeah, there was actually a battle of the English Civil War fought in the United States. What's now the United States. So I mean, it was just at the kind of the beginning of them colonizing here.
Okay.
Pardon? Oh,
Not talking about that.
Yeah.
So that's neat. So is it like you have like stands of like 4 infantry or stands of like
dog. Sorry.
it's like 10 pikemen and per base, and then
like pike and shot era?
yeah, that's
That's neat.
yeah. This is just the very beginning of pike and shot, where they still had like a lot of pike.
And
Yeah.
some great swords and musketeers and
They didn't really have great swords in England. The Scots would use them, but that was mostly a continental thing. In fact, it was just post 30 Years' War was the English Civil War, because a lot of the commanders in the English Civil War made their names in the 30 Years' War.
yeah. When I was in Austria, I went to the it's like an Austria War Museum, and they had a huge section which was essentially the pike and shot era, and they had all these battles like painted, and they had all the columns of pikemen, blocks, and like the battlefield formation for that battle.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really, really neat. It was like it kind of looked like an RTS type game where they had all the little groups and their formations all painted all nice, and they had dozens of these paintings with like different battles. I think that was kind of when Austria was one of the bigger names in Europe.
Yeah.
But that's a period that I've never played a war game in, which I would really like to.
Yeah, I mean it's nice because because the shot was still pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overpowering.
Yeah.
And there was still cavalry too, so you still get some kind of fun stuff still that you get with like medievals, but it's a little more modern, and the uniforms are. I really like the uniforms from the period. And it's still not. It's still kind of like, well, your commander picked all your colors and stuff, so it's still a little more ragtag and disorganized like medievals are, and as opposed to like moderns that are just oh well, here's the 54th stand of everybody in green,
Yeah.
But it's simultaneously it's got guns, it's got cannon, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like a best of both worlds.
You can paint your guys like what's the German Landsknecht?
Yes. Yeah.
Paint those guys up.
Yeah, you still get some fun painting projects, You still have your crazy flamboyant characters and stuff, and from history, in a way that they kind of petered out,
Mm-hmm.
So you get kind of that stuff but still get some more modern aspects, like I said, like guns and cannons, and and archaeology that like much before the English Civil War, and we just kind of think, okay, we think there was a battle in this area, and we don't know how many people were there, before pike and shot, I should say, and so it's a lot of guesswork, and you're just kind of assuming things, and whereas the pike and shot area, they can point to and say, okay, we have evidence of
they have written records at that time,
right?
Guys,
a lot of that
are
stuff.
we ready? Essentially.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Everyone's here, Brian.
Brian was here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, but we are have like an hour, even less of game, so
Okay.
let's make it count. Okay. So, how are you moving, Lucas? Through the road, from the north?
Are lots of people coming in on the road?
No, after the boy was essentially shown to them, The road is empty, and even from the forest you can see that the village is practically empty. Only a few people remain, broken and confused as to what happened and why their loved ones just joined this mob of fanatics.
Okay.
Oh, it was
so
it was about 3 in the afternoon when the rally happened.
but
Just
so
you know.
there's not a lot of like crowds out or anything now.
No, but you know that the entire encampment is, out in the fields. That's where they are.
Okay, so yeah, probably coming up on the road to the field, so we look like normal people coming in. Not like we're up to something.
All right.
I want us to look as inconspicuous as possible.
All right. I get that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're moving over the road towards Güten. It is a typical small empire farming community. There is a tavern, a small temple of Sigmar, a shrine to Shalia, a general store, a mill, a blacksmith shop, and a few private houses, with ransacked freehold gardens out back. At this moment it is nearly deserted. Almost everyone has moved to the encampment of the followers of the child, taking all their food, drink, and portable possessions with them. Only a few sad men and women who failed to fall for child's charms are left, weeping at the loss of loved ones and property. These folks cower and hide from you, and even or threaten you as you are passing, the buildings of Güten, thinking that you're part of the crusade.
Vincent, when he usually enters a new town, is going to make sure his hilt is covered by a cloth or something, just to make him not stick out.
All right, with the weapon.
Yeah, he looks very peasantry right now. He doesn't want an amazing sword glittering on his hip.
Right, and it's like that's not even like a normal sword either, right? Like
it's a katana, so no.
Considered a heretic.
I mean, you would have to find a very zealous individual to burn you for having a sword like that. Swords in the old world come in all sizes and shapes. But
that's also the kind of thing that would stick out right now.
Yes,
you really don't want it sticking out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you pass the few houses in Güten, you can see that all of them are essentially empty. The people who lived here were poor to begin with, and they've taken everything from them and just, brought it to the crusade. Over the roofs, you can also see a very tall mast with a flag atop of it. A large blue banner with what looks like a hammer and heart insignia flapping on a very tall pole, above the various houses in Güten and above the hundreds, if not thousands, of tents on the other side. And it can be seen from anywhere in the camp, and of course even outside it. Right, Lucas. So I presume that you approach the encampment from the south.
Yeah.
Kind of cut through the buildings.
Well, I mean, there are 15 buildings total. They're not.
Close
like packed,
we're not
so.
going. Yeah, we'll cut through that L shape probably. Right?
Yeah, just kind of go whatever the most direct and most inconspicuous route is. Like if we're going through the main thoroughfare, but it looks like everybody's going through this other way, we'll kind of blend in with them.
Okay. Of course there are a few people coming and going to and from the encampment. You essentially make your way in between the couple of buildings from the south and enter the encampment of the Crusade of the Child. And just so we know, everyone's here. Brian, you're here as well? Brian?
Yeah, I just got it muted. Yeah, I'm
okay, yeah, sure. This is your first contact with the Crusade of the Child, and needless to say, it's overwhelming. The camp is a crowded, filthy, busy, bizarre place. There are crusaders cooking, eating, washing up, as well as praying, performing religious ceremonies, doing laundry, grooming each other, trying to sleep, preaching, talking about the child, arguing doctrine, welcoming new converts into the fold, and so on. I will now describe a couple of sites to you so that you have a better understanding of how this exactly looks. A group of foragers laugh and whoop as they return from raiding a nearby farm. They herd a few cows before them, carry live chickens under their arms, and drink freely from stolen liquor jugs. You pass a man praying to Carl for the recovery of his wife. She lies beside him, trembling and sweating, her skin the color of urine, her belly bloated. Further on, as you make your way deeper into the encampment, you see 6 tough-looking crusaders push around the candle seller. They tell him that all candles must be blue, in honor of Carl. They confiscate all the white candles. "These candles will be destroyed," they say to him. A group of naked, painted flagellants march through the camp, lashing themselves with branches and chanting with each step, "Carl is Sigmar, Sigmar is God. Carl is Sigmar, Sigmar is God." A group of men shout and cheer around a wash tub in which 2 rats fight over a scrap of meat. Wagers are taken and coppers are exchanged. As you pass another row of tents, you see a sultry woman standing outside one, eyeing all the men who pass and saying, "Join me in prayer, brother." Yeah. The sanitation is awful. There is filth underfoot and ghastly odors waft through the air. Inescapable clouds of flies drift everywhere. Only a few well-organized campsites have latrines. Most people squat where they can, and you just have to watch your steps, so to speak. But even so, each of you more than once stepped in someone's former dinner.
Yeah, which reminds me.
No, you don't have boots.
No, Lucas is gonna note to the new priest that we have in tow
Vental.
him. That maybe he might not want to touch anything he doesn't have to touch. Lucas is very hesitant to start talking about plague-causing dark gods and stuff to somebody he doesn't know.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't want him bringing anything back with him either.
Yeah. I would like
that Lucas could get. So.
Yeah, I would just like to remind you that Lucas, Vincent, and Leopold, you're all sick, and you feel horrible. Just remember that.
Yeah, and
you're wondering if it's nowhere.
You're sweating like crazy. You don't look too healthy. Yeah. So
Vincent is like controlling his breathing and being very mindful of like all the filth and the flies, and he's not in a good state.
You can't escape the filth here. You can escape the flies.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, but he's very aware of that.
Yeah.
And even though he knows he can't do anything about it, he's certainly trying.
Verntar, roll for perception. Verntar?
Brian?
I'm here.
Roll for perception.
Yeah, it's rolling.
Okay. Yeah, you've spotted that the rest of the party, except for Faulebrand, is not looking too healthy. Just so you know.
I'm not gonna get too close then.
Well, I mean,
that.
Yeah, of course, but just you're not getting too close, but you are, I presume, walking like trying to stick together.
Yeah, but I'm not giving any hugs or anything.
Yeah, sure.
Bring it in, guys! Bring it in!
Most of the fanatics are as dirty and smelly as their campsites, and you can see that many are diseased. Close quarters and poor cleanliness have taken their toll on them, no doubt not helped by the large numbers of vermin scampering through the filth. Yes, there are a lot of rats here. Sneezing, hawking, and moaning are common sounds. Other than, of course, praying, shouting. You can even hear sounds of people, copulating, as well as defecating. and you can even see those. So this is truly this is truly a horrible place. I mean, I can't even stress. None of you have ever seen something like that.
He's standing right. I guess we're all kind of right next to each other.
Yeah.
Under my breath, Vincent's gonna say, "I do not want to be here right now." You can kind of sense Vincent's on the verge of panicking.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Yeah, you see that young Fowlerbrand essentially,
As well.
He covered the bottom of his face with a piece of cloth, but he's just gagging from time to time. You guess that a city boy like him is taking things like that, the worst of all.
Are other people doing that, or is that
No.
literally just him? Okay,
Yeah,
other people
yeah.
are too. Okay.
No, other people are honestly, they're just accustomed to this by now.
Okay, in that case,
Vincent
case,
is not doing that
in that
because
case,
he's.
I'm gonna give him an elbow and be like, dude, cut it out. You're gonna draw attention to us.
I'm going to puke.
Yeah, that's fine. Other people are puking. You can do that.
He takes off the mask.
Yeah, Vincent was thinking the same thing. He's like, he would really like to put a mask on right now, but he'd stick out, so
Yeah.
he's not.
You see that, of course, in a place like this, bands begin to form very quickly, and indeed have so already. Many of these people essentially created different factions. For example, you've walked past a way of white-robed. Well, they used to be white. They used to be white crusaders going about in a very sanctified manner, as they were non-stop singing not only praises to Karl, the Sigmar Reborn, but even when they were talking to other people, they were talking in song. Then you've passed another group which controlled a part of this encampment's territory. They look like everyone else here, poor, disheveled, malnourished, stuff like that, but they did have red bandanas on their heads and huge wooden tent peg mallets. They were essentially manhandling a couple of other crusaders, saying stuff like, if you want to pass through our territory, you need to pay for protection. We are, of course, doing this for Karl, Sigmar Reborn, stuff like that. There was a very disturbing sight that you've stumbled upon. Essentially, a bunch of flagellants who were marching through the encampment with shapes of a hammer cut into their chests. You've heard other crusaders saying, the brothers of the enclosed wound. I've heard that as many of them die as new ones join their brotherhood. Oh, they are. I've heard they are rivals of the burdened hearts, the fanatics with the books on their backs. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of them have died on the road from Marienburg. Apparently, they are taking the sins of the world on their shoulders, the sins that can be found in the books. I don't understand. Well, I spoke to one of them, and they say that every book that has no mention of Karl inside is sinful. So they take the sins upon themselves and they carry them on their backs. Oh, very pious men. Yes, indeed. Stuff like that. Now that they mention it, you actually did saw a few bodies with books strapped to their backs laying on the road when you were marching to Gitten. So, Fanatism.
Wait, so the bodies were on the road, or we saw people walking on the road too?
No.
Like that?
You saw bodies with books. I've said before that you've passed quite a few bodies, even before you marched into.
Right. Yeah. I was making sure we weren't having a language translation.
No. I mean, I am babbling today. Sorry for that. Too much caffeine essentially does that to me. I forget words. For which I'm sorry.
Well, hey, you are running a game in a language that is not your native language. That is so far ahead of anything I could even ever dream of doing.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I took 4 years of French in high school and could barely say hello. How are you?
Parlez-vous français?
Un peu.
Yeah, I only know two sentences in French. Well, three.
Omelette du fromage.
One of them is very naughty, so I'm not going to say it. Yeah.
The only one of those I remember is foutoir.
Oh.
But that might be French Canadian because it was a French Canadian guy who taught it to me.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for the compliment. I'm doing my best, of course, for you guys. Anyway, as you are making your way, does any one of you want to make some kind of gossip tests? Because let me just say that people, they don't take interest in you. You're not in any way sticking out from the crowd. You're just one of them. People here, of course, like I said, they are all dirty, smelly. Most of them are, dressed in rags, but some of them, of course, you see that they once had pretty good clothing or were men of stature of some kind. But now, the long journey from Marienburg here took its toll. So, if you want to ask, then you can roll. If not, then tell me, and we'll just continue.
Lucas doesn't because his fellowship, he's not very good at that kind of thing, but also he doesn't want to be attracting attention, but he's not necessarily going to stop somebody else from asking normal conversation type questions.
Okay.
If somebody else in the group starts getting weird about it, he might be like, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Vincent's going to. He's kind of looking at all the flags and the heraldry and the insignias that are kind of coming up, and he's just kind of seeing if he recognizes anything, anything from a more noble house.
No, you without even rolling, you don't have to do this.
Okay.
There are no nobles here. That said, you all notice one thing: the common theme these people here have is the color blue.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them have some kind of blue ornament on them, whether it be a sash or a belt or a small piece of blue clothing pinned to their tunics. They have some kind of blue element on them, like I said before. Yeah.
Is anybody selling it? No. Blue trinkets or cloth or.
You don't see anything like that. You did spot that the people here organize themselves pretty well when it comes to defense, because you've passed quite a few patrols comprised of what look like flagellants wearing mismatched leather armor and carrying maces and flails. They've actually managed to disrupt a few arguments, more violent ones. Oh, by the way, you did pass many bodies. People who died probably from starvation, from plague, with horribly yellow skin and sweat over their dead bodies. In one, because this is a tent city, essentially, tents of all sizes here. So I will be using terms like alleys because there are alleys between tents here, and in a few alleys you saw people that were brutally murdered, their throats slit, or them being stabbed to death or clubbed to death. There is a lot of violence here, a lot of tension, fueled by fanaticism and religious fervor, which is always a good sign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not worshiping our God, right? No, you're not worshiping our God.
Yeah.
Right?
You've even heard arguments like that. You're not worshiping Carl enough. Don't tell me how to worship him. I worship him better than you. Oh, you son of a! And they've started fighting. Situations like that are pretty common here.
This kind of reminds me of one of the very old episodes of The Simpsons where Bart said something, and they cut to the future, and he had become a prophet, his words had become a prophet, and there was the two factions fighting over Cowabunga Dude and I Carumba or something like that. Yeah, which was it was lined up for battle and everything. It was
Okay, so Ninja Turtles and Tasmanian
Well,
Devil.
no, because remember he used to. I don't know. Very early on, he would say that a lot.
Oh,
Bart
okay,
Simpson would
okay,
say that a lot,
okay,
and
okay.
and so it was like basically two different things. Two different catchphrases he had. Them fighting over essentially the catchphrase.
Okay,
So what you're saying, Simpsons did it?
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. So, Vincent, you're not asking as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he's in lieu of not seeing anything, he will ask. Vincent has an okay gossip.
All right. Vrenhar.
Oof,
What about
and
you?
failed.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Rentar, sorry.
test.
You want to test? Okay,
Yeah.
test gossip.
Vincent failed.
Vincent was asking. All right, he failed. Rentar also failed. Luck, rolls.
I'll use a luck. Yeah,
All right,
this is
roll.
one of the few situations where I kind of blend in with the people.
Yeah, sure.
I still failed.
Mm,
Unless
wait.
there's a modifier.
yeah, I mean, you are a Sigma, right? And it shows, so you have a modifier.
And I stank.
Well, yes, that's also. So tell me, what exactly were you asking about?
I'm gonna say that
I mean, not
Um,
specifically, but just broadly. Tell me what were you interested in?
I want to know where the ground is where the child lays his head, because a monument should be erected there.
Oh,
Once
good
Satan moves
sir.
on.
Our beloved Carl, he sleeps in the very middle of the encampment, in the Carl's compound. And the closer you are to Carl's compound, the more important you are. The further from it you are, the less important you are. So what this man essentially means is that people who live closer to the compound have essentially prime real estate, and the ones that live further from the compound are at the very bottom of the social ladder. Anyone got that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll roll for Leopold because he also asks 04. How much?
I'm gonna spit after I talk to that guy because
3 successes. Alright, cool. So, since Leopold is your NPC, what was he asking for? I want you guys to tell me. Okay, apparently no one knows.
Well,
I think like some kind of schedule type question.
yeah, like that's
Would be
kind
good.
of what I was thinking. Like, does he come out often? Does he just stay where he's at? Type of thing. Does he give speeches?
Roll for intelligence, Vincent.
Should I? All right.
Yeah, I was just thinking more along the lines of, are we going to be able to see him again today? Kind of.
Yeah. Should this be?
Non-specifics.
Roll for intelligence, Vincent. Thank you. Don't ask this kind of questions. When he's coming out, what's his schedule? Because you know that this can be taken very, very differently than what you think.
Oh,
how it
it's
should
not
be
like
taken.
church services.
No, it's like you're asking, well, when does the boy come out and where does he go?
Is there any good sniper positions?
Yes, I'm not
inside
joking. This is essentially that.
Just ask.
Well, yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of, did we miss him? Did we miss him? Or is there any word? Oh, I can't believe we missed him. We're so unfaithful. Or maybe not unfaithful.
This kind of stuff, yes. But you know that this is probably a very bad idea to ask about his daily habits, especially since you're new to this place, and while you are blending in, you are still new, because people might think that, well, why do you want to know these things? Why are you interested in his daily routine? Where he goes, where he can be seen.
What time does he go to the bathroom? Particularly, how long does he spend in the latrine?
Yes, exactly. So
and are there any guards there?
Okay, so let me just tell you. You can ask about. I mean, because Leopold essentially had 3 full successes, because he has 34 fellowship, which means 3 full successes after the first.
Which means he's a gossip machine.
Yeah, which means that he can learn 3 things, but I mean, he can either learn 3 different things from gossip about the leaders, gossip about Carl, gossip about the code's future, gossip about life in camp, or 3 things from single entry. And I want you to tell me what was he supposed to ask about. Leaders, including after that specific leaders, if you wish so. Code's future, life in camp.
I think we're getting a good experience of life in camp.
So 3 from life in camp for Vincent. What about you guys?
Oh no, I think he was saying we don't.
Yeah,
need
I'm saying
life
we
in
don't.
camp.
You don't.
Life.
All right.
I don't think like I don't want to.
No, I agree with that. I think probably either I think leaders or so my thoughts on leaders would be that this is who's going to be defending him. My thoughts on future is I don't know that I believe that the elves are going to be successful, and we might need to know where they're headed after that.
Are you thinking that because your character thinks that, or are you thinking that because it's meta?
I think that because I've seen how people fall to his will.
All right.
And I just don't. And he doesn't trust anybody to part of his thing. He doesn't. Basically, he thinks everybody else is an idiot. So.
All right. Sure.
And also he likes to be prepared. So that's kind of it. But the leaders, I think, also like I said, those are the people that these guys are going to have to get through to get to him. So that's probably very useful information as well.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
I think we should find out about the leaders as well.
So leaders it is. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
I agree.
All right. So you have 3 points. Okay. So there are 3 things about the leaders. What you've learned is that Carl, of course. Now I'm going to say the overall structure, but then I'm going to RP the rest of the answers, just so you know. Of course, the main figure in the camp is Carl, Sigmar Reborn, the Wonder Child, the Miracle Child, There's Father Helmut, and I suggest that you guys write these things down because it's very important. These things are very important. Father Helmut is responsible for the spiritual side of the crusade. There's Jan van der Peer, a Marienberger who is responsible for keeping everyone fed and, for logistics, essentially. There's Captain Krieger, who is Carl's bodyguard. He takes care of, crusade safety. And finally, there's Lord Eisenbach, who is essentially also lending his knights to Carl's cause. So this was one of the 3. Now I'm going to RP the other 2. Well, says the man that Leopold was asking, and you've all stopped just to hear what he was about to say. Carl's our leader, but he's young and convent raised, so he ain't wise to the ways of the world. Father Helmut and the Marienberger van der Peer watch out for him. The spirits and the body, if you get my meaning. Helmut takes care of his religious training, and van der Peer makes sure he's fed. Makes sure we're all fed, really. Then there's Krieger and Lord Eisenbach. They keep us safe. And, another man, of course, filthy and disheveled, told you that, what do we need any of those vultures for? Carl is the son of Sigmar. We need no other leader. So these were the 3 things that you've learned. You can ask more, of course. It took you about 10 minutes, trying to convince people to speak with you, because most of the people here are busy doing, their daily stuff, daily chores. and trying to survive, and it's not easy in a place like this. So, are you you continue your march? Are you asking again? Someone else?
I mean, I don't. I
think we should continue on.
yeah.
Okay.
Like towards the center of the camps.
Yes. Also, movement here is tricky. The fields have been essentially turned into mud. With thousands of people living here, with all that this entails, if you know what I mean. It's very hard to move through the narrow alleys between tents and over people. Waiting for some of them to let you through. So you are all walking slowly. Not to mention that you are also carrying an unconscious man. Not to mention that you haven't slept. You are all very tired. The salves slowly stop working, so you can feel the pain creeping back in, and you can also even with all the stink and filth, you can feel your stomachs like growling.
Yeah.
You are hungry.
I should have
know.
done this before, but is there anything I can do for their injuries or their illness?
Right now, you'd have to inspect them. It would probably take 1 hour to 2 hours total.
Yeah, that'd be like a on the road type of thing. But
yeah, you would have to go somewhere where it's more sanitary. It's a lot of time. You can't do anything to them right now.
Vincent would like to state
Sorry.
that.
Oh, so it was you.
Well, the file falling off the ground onto the ground was me. Yeah.
Okay. Vincent, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that we should just get eyes on the tent, not get any closer than we need to, and then get the hell out of here.
But and Leopold whispers, but the elves told us to, scout the place, right? Scout, as in...
Well, we could pick up some landmarks, get some identification, but we don't have to be on top of the place, do we?
No, but we need to know where's the entrance. If there's more than one, how many guards, stuff like that. If they want to drop this kid, they'll need all the information they can get. And why the fuck are we speaking like his Dota Green game? Let's go full tactical here, boys.
Yep. On 3, breach, bang, and clear.
Breach, bang, and clear. Yes.
Blue 42! Blue 42!
Blue on blue! Blue on blue! Ceasefire! Yeah, so, no, but of course, he says that, look, if we agreed to do this, we should do this. Especially if by some miracle the elves survive, and for example we'll be very angry that we haven't told them about the extra 4 guards that were guarding the place. You know what I mean?
The boy has a good point.
Yeah. Let's just get this over with.
I want to reach Outdorf without looking over my shoulder every time we are crossing a forest.
Yes.
You know where the compound is because, like I said before, there's this huge flag which is visible from every single place here. So it's like a great orientation landmark. That said, at one point, a small child, which looks strange to you at the first glance, began pestering you, saying, "Sharpen your swords, your warships, patch your cloak, polish your armor, only a penny, tell your fortune, Madame Mira knows all, only for 2 pennies, roasted rat, killed fresh this week, only a penny." And he runs around your legs, just trying you to pay for his services. Everyone rolls Common Knowledge Empire.
Oh. I'll take that botch.
You take them back? Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I didn't mean to roll that. That's Norska.
You're from Nordland, right? Or you're a Norskan?
No, that actually shouldn't be on there. It's supposed to be Empire.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like he's Norskan, but he doesn't like he's never lived there really.
Okay, so you're okay. I'll need to read about your character later.
Is common knowledge Empire not one of the defaults? Probably not.
For an imperial,
It's an advanced skill.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just roll for intelligence and.
Well, I mean, you've rolled before versus intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first roll. So yes, you've passed.
No, I just rolled.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was looking for a skill that I filled in because I thought I had that +1, but apparently not.
No worries. Lucas, you because of the kid, you've tripped, and you fell face first into a pile of feces.
Nice.
Human feces. And after that, of course, the kid escaped because you probably would do something to him. The rest of you realize that the kid is a Strigany. Strigans, or Strigany actually in English, in Polish it's Striganie. Now I'll like cross into a.
Like gypsies?
Yes, I was going to say that this is sensitive territory. Essentially, there are gypsies, and in the Empire, the Strigani are very, very, very mistrusted. They're not hunted, they're not hated, but they are associated with thieves, ne'er-do-wells, mystics, stuff like that. In some provinces, they are more tolerated, in some less. None of you actually know them that well. You just know that because of his complexion, they are of darker skin, and because of their hair, the kid's hair was very dark. It was like coal black. It was clear that he was a Strigany. Not to mention that he had this funny accent, not quite imperial, so to speak. And I don't know, but for some reason I felt that I sounded like a huge racist describing this kid. It wasn't my intention, by the way. I'm just repeating the info from the book itself. So that was a Strigany kid who was trying to sell you something, and the Strigany actually have a reputation for swindling people. They say that they sell you something and then they just rob you, or they sell you something completely useless. This all of you know, except for Lucas, who went face first into fecal matter.
He probably in his heart knew it and was trying to swipe at the kid for afraid he was stealing his wallet that he doesn't have anymore and
purse.
Slipped and fell.
You mean purse?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was it. You are getting closer to the pole tent. To the pole, sorry, not the tent. The tent as well. You know what I mean. Fuck's sake, sorry. Suddenly you emerge into a surprise, a smoke clearing within the encampment of the child. It's very strange to you. On this clearing, it's like I said, it's a small space, without any tents. That said, there are 2 wagons piled high with kegs of ale, whiskey, and brandy. You see that the banner hangs from the back, painted with an insignia of a scythe resting against a sheaf of wheat. And there are words there, Carl's Bounty. Vincent, Lucas, and, Leopold, and second Leopold, you of course recognize the sign. It was the sign on the Reaper's Bounty. The same sign.
On the Reaper's Bounty. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
A scythe.
Remind me what the Reaper's Bounty was, because
it was only the inn where Sally got killed.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed the first part of that session because that was.
Okay.
Yeah. And we suspected that was.
Oh yeah, you weren't there.
The-
So sorry,
the
sorry.
folks that came through.
entrance. Yes, that. So essentially, this is the exact same sign. That said, the sign, for those of you who can read, says Carl's Bounty. 6 soldiers, you see, act as bouncers here. They are all pretty well armed and armored. Maybe they're the soldiers from the garrison in the inn. You can also smell through the stink of this horrible place. You can also smell freshly cooked food and fine drink, and your mouths begin to water. There are not that many customers because most of the people here don't have the coin to buy anything. That said, many of them, are essentially camping around the wagons, waiting for any scraps that might be thrown their way. I can't stress this enough. People here live in horrible conditions. They would be 90% of them would be considered beggars in any of the empire's larger cities. The only thing that really sustains them is their faith in the child. You guys are extremely hungry and really thirsty because it's hot. Like, believe it or not, the weather. This is already spring is already here. The weather changes. It's getting hotter and hotter, and so many people here. Also means that it's a lot warmer. Last time that you've managed to grab a drink of water was with the wood elves. Since then, only Verntar, I think, has any sort of rations or water skin, stuff like that. So, are you going to eat something, speak with the owner, or just soldier on?
Well, Lucas is flat broke, so he's going to have to soldier on.
I think Vincent still has his coin. Did I lose any coin from the last
Out
session?
of character, I gave you the war chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leopold also has some money, and he says, "Come on, guys, let's grab something to eat." Lucas,
Yeah.
I'll buy you something.
That's not very Leopold of him, but
Fowlerbrand.
which Leopold are you? Oh, Fowlerbrand.
The
Okay.
the other
We'll just call him
Leopold,
Fowlerbrand.
the other Leopold is not playing today, so
Yeah.
he's unconscious.
I shrugged my shoulders and Leopold grunts.
I'm having a problem wrestling with in-game and out-of-game knowledge here. Because, I recognize that I don't know that I want him to be eating food at this place.
Mm-hmm.
But, I also have to recognize he probably is very, very, very hungry.
Yes, you.
Well, this place.
Remember that you also haven't slept and you're sick. You need sustenance.
Like this.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any sign that the food that came from that inn is bad in any way. It's not like that village.
Yeah, I think he would.
Is that kind of
I
what
think
you're
he would-
thinking?
Yeah, I think he would break down and probably do it.
Like,
Especially if somebody else is paying for it. Which it sounds like Fowlerbrand is. So.
Yeah, he is.
yeah, I think I would. Yeah, if it looks like, I guess the perspective I'm getting, and just correct me if I'm wrong, is that area it's kind of in lockdown, so it's probably in reasonable condition. Because it kind of seems like that's their stock.
It's not lockdown per se, but you see that the wagons are in a good condition. They are guarded by professional soldiers, and you can see that these men are soldiers, which probably means that
not
they are
the squalor
of
the rest of the camp.
And you can smell actually food, and of course it's not the food that you were eating in None with Nero and Nidus during that infamous feast, but it is normal, well-prepared, probably well-tasting food in the old world.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got. So Vincent is all in for that.
Especially since the last hot meal you had was days ago. Remember that you haven't eaten anything warm in Reaper's Bounty as well when you've reached that place.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing to eat. You had to rely on your rations. So you approach the wagons.
Yeah, unless somebody objects, I don't have a problem with that. And
Vrentar? Brian.
I'll go with them, but I have rations.
All right, so you're not buying anything.
I guess I'll approach. It does look like there's somebody in charge there. I'll approach them. And,
you see the proprietors. You see a bustling, red-faced couple with very cheerful, business-like manner. They are serving drinks and food to those people who can actually afford them, and it looks like they are always in a hurry. You approach all of you approach the place, or just Vincent, Lucas, and Faulbrand?
I'll go with them.
All right, so you all approach the place. Great.
Yeah, Vincent will ask.
Welcome. I'm Rudy Margot, and this is my wife Hannah. Welcome to Carl's Bounty, friends. How can I serve you today? Says the man.
A few pence for a meal.
Of course,
and a drink?
sir. Of course. What would you like to eat? What would you like to drink? We have finest ales. We have great meat straight from Butcher Groff. He is a very kind man, Butcher Groff. Always bring him your game. If you catch something, he'll,
prepare it.
He'll prepare it very cheaply. He's a decent man. So, I have some rabbits. I have chicken, if you wish so. I even have a boar, I think. Yes, we have boar. So, I'll make something for you. It will be only 3 pennies per meal, 1 penny for a drink.
Vincent nods at that and kind of scrounges his pockets. I'm assuming Leopold is paying for your meal, and I guess Leopold is sleeping.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, he's unconscious more than sleeping, but yeah.
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 So yeah, I'm gonna reach for 4 pence and ask for rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And ale.
Yeah, he fetches you a small wooden plate with fatty strips of rabbit meat and a few slices of black bread and a nice large wooden tankard of frothing ale. Oh yeah.
Vincent's gonna, I guess, find like a I don't know if there's like any kind of edge of a wagon or somewhere to kind of like put his plate and ale, or somewhere he can stand and eat just right there. And then
well, people here either just sit on the ground or stand and eat.
Yeah,
like,
he's
there
standing.
are no tables here really. I mean, there are a few like barrows with small wooden stools that you can sit around, but most of them are occupied. So you guys have to just stand and eat.
Sit on Leopold.
What about Nils?
Nils says thank you. He's essentially, fasting. Fasting. Yeah, thanks.
All right. Yeah, Vincent's going to, kind of hold the plate in one hand and put his ale in between his arm and his chest, and then he's going to flip over the rabbit and kind of suspiciously inspect it.
No, it's the meat looks and smells very good.
Yeah, so he's still going to do it, and then he's going to, satisfied, he's going to eat it.
Oh, fortunately, Rudy didn't saw you, eyeing suspiciously the meat that he prepared for you, because it would be probably a faux pas. All of you are eating your meals. Lucas, you and Leopold, you were also given a bowl full of sausages. While Vrentar and Nils are not eating or drinking anything. What can I say? The food is delicious. For you, this is the best food that you had in days. And the drinks, incredible. Of course, you can feel other people's hungry eyes on you. Well, more on your plates than on you, but you know what I mean. Rudy looks at you. He looks genuinely friendly and happy that you that you've stopped by his place and ate his food. But he's not initiating any conversation on his own. If you want to speak with him, you have to do it, yourselves.
Yeah, I was thinking if there'd be anything worth. He sounds like he'd be somebody willing to talk.
Well, remember
I'm
that
just
he
trying
was
to think of anything
that he was
relevant.
probably the owner of the inn.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, use this kind of angle, perhaps.
So about your about your inn.
My inn?
Got burnt down. No, I was just kidding.
No, I mean, why? This is actually a pretty reasonable approach.
Yeah, let's go with it. So swung by your inn and
Really? Ripper's Bounty.
yes,
Is
and
it still standing?
I don't think so.
Oh, what happened?
Some creatures out of the forest seem to come in and
Beastmen?
yeah, I'm looking at him trying to see how he reacts to the fact that his inn got destroyed.
He
doesn't care.
Damn shame, but this is my tavern now, serving the servants of the son of Sigmar, the only way I know how.
Tavern on wheels. It's probably pretty good business.
What I really want to know, if by any chance you gents found my pipe. The excitement, I left it behind and I miss it. Never had a pipe with a better draw or mellower flavor.
I don't think Vincent was ever there at that time. Vincent was on the wall, so...
I think the pipe was in the possession of Sally.
Yeah, and Vincent didn't even know of an existence of a pipe, so Vincent's just gonna be like, no.
Yeah. Oh, no, damn shame. You see that his wife looks at him with scorn and says, well, at least you've managed to drop this filthy habit. I'm happy for this. Oh, come on, honey, he says. Ah. Well, anyway, you've bought something from me, boys. Maybe I can be of assistance to you. My gut tells me that you're new to the crusade, eh? Want to learn something?
Well, we're not new to the crusade, but we finally caught up.
Oh, new members. Always happy to serve them. So, what would you like to know? You've bought 3 drinks from me. That's 3 pieces of gossip. If you want more, buy more drinks.
Alright, well... He kind of looks over at Lucas and Thildebrandt and...
I'll buy a drink for a gossip.
A single penny. He looks at you expectantly to, ask him the question.
I never rolled for money. We never discussed that. Like, how much should I start with?
D10. Everything's in the rule book when you roll things.
Yeah, but since we're like far along.
You have 6 gold crowns.
Okay, 1 penny.
Yeah. This means that you have 19 pennies, 5 gold crowns, and 11 silver.
Cool.
So, Vrentar, maybe you want to ask first because the guys apparently lost their tongues.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I got
Lucas
rabbit
is
in my
busy.
mouth.
Yeah, I think Lucas is too busy guzzling ale and
You also know that
shoving food into his mouth.
You also know that probably drinking another maybe 2 steins will lead to you just collapsing from fatigue and because like I said before, you haven't slept for a lot.
Yeah. So, where's any idea of where the caravan is heading? I might try trying to see if I run into any family or friends on the way.
Well, Karl leads us to Aldorf to receive the blessing of the Emperor and the Grand Fioganist. Then on we march to the wastes beyond Kislev to destroy the dread hordes once and for all. All hail his name.
To the north.
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, to the north.
To the north.
Yes. Do we know, like, this is, I guess, out of character. Do we know that Brian's character is Northish, Nordic. Like, is that something we can recognize, or?
Brian, are you Nordlander?
I'm a Nordland. He's Norse in my blood, but he was raised in Nordland.
So you're a Nordlander. Okay, that's what I want
Yeah.
to know.
Yes.
Roll for the rest of you. Roll for Common Knowledge Empire.
He probably looks like somebody from further north, though, because he's huge.
Yeah,
That's kinda what I was-
So yes, right, Lucas. You know that you're almost certain that Vrentar is Nordlander. Vincent, you have no idea from where Vrentar is.
Okay.
He's weird. Like he's weird.
I want to mention. Oh, Altdorf. I might have to. I have a uncle in Altdorf. I might have to see if I can pull him along.
He has
So
a
I don't
funky
know what
name.
part-
It's Dariush. It's
Dario. Yeah.
Jubal,
have you heard of him?
Jubal Falk emerges from behind the wagon with the rifle. Got you now, bitch! Yes. This joke will never get old.
No.
Just
It's
like
going to be like
all these characters are going to be dead, and we're still going to be making this joke.
no, all these characters will be dead, and Falk will still look for Vincent. That's the funny
Yep.
thing. Like I said, this joke is never going to be old, just like Sally. Well, sorry for that.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon. Rip my boy. Leopold actually asks, "Good sir, can you tell us something more about this wondrous child that we have spotted in the central platz of this village there, whatever its name was?" "Oh, well, Karl is the light of hope in a black world. He will set all to rights. He will banish the darkness and drive out the mutants and the beastmen and the elves and the dwarfs, even the foreigners. Yes, he will."
I bet he rocks a toupee like nobody's business.
Yes.
Tiny
Sorry.
hands.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's essentially what Rudy says to you. Good, says Leopold, and then quickly drinks his beer.
Yeah, Lucas is gonna be like, yeah, damn elves, can't wait till they're all gone, and then spit on the ground.
Meanwhile, we have Vincent. Rudy looks at you expectantly because you've also ordered a drink.
Mhm.
What you are going to ask him?
Oh, I asked him about where
Oh, yeah.
the caravan was heading.
So these were like what, 2 questions? Rentar asked a question or not? I don't think he did.
No,
Wait,
I
did they-
haven't.
So he looks
Someone
at you.
else can.
So he looks at you, Rentar.
I've actually got nothing. The question I was going to ask is based on something Sally would have known, and I
Alright.
realized that.
So Leopold looks at you. On behalf of this here priest, can I ask you a question? Because he also bought a beer. Sure, you can. Maybe ask something about the boys' protectors, about this Father Helmut. Oh, Father Helmut is a great man, the first holy man to recognize Karl's divinity. He should be the one to lead us. So that was that. So I think we have one more question to ask. Maybe Lucas, you want to ask something?
I don't think there's a way that. Well, out of game, my head hurts too bad to think that.
All right.
In game, I think he's one is probably still too busy shoveling food into his mouth.
Yeah.
And two, he is in a he's ready for this kid to die, and I think he recognizes that there's no way that he can ask a question without and hide his true feelings.
All right.
Yeah, that's where I'm having a little trouble is coming up with a question that won't like get us in trouble. That won't sound suspicious.
Yeah, sure. So in that case, Valorant looks at all of you as if ask the fucking question because it can actually help us in our task, and then he sees that you're not asking. He's like,
So Lucas might just ask him something kind of mundane, like about like life. I think life at the camp.
life in camp.
Like,
All right.
yeah, like noticing all the people that are sick. Is that has it been this way the whole time, or?
Sir, it's rats that spreads it. They're evil animals. Kill the rats, and the yellow death will pass in a week.
Yellow death. I've not heard of that one.
Oh, sir, this is a horrible thing. Really, if not for Carl, who's shooting us with his divinity and pureness, we would all probably be dead. But even with him, way too many people succumb to this horrible illness. But I don't want to talk about it. Not here, not where I serve food and drink to people. If you wish to learn more about this illness, which I would advise you not to, then you can ask someone else in the encampment.
Oh, you said enough. Rats, goddamn rats.
Yes. Rats unfortunately are everywhere, but I'm sure that we'll move out soon, so for some time at least they will leave us in peace.
Yeah.
Yes, then Vincent's going to be like, for success in the caravan and for Sigmar, then he holds up his glass and drains the rest of his drink.
Yeah. The rest of you, I presume, also salute with your drinks.
Yeah.
Except for Nils, who's, of course, just standing on the side, looking at you disapprovingly. Well, you've made it. You've reached the encampment of the Crusade of the Child. You are now getting closer and closer to the main compound, where Karl, Sigmar Reborn, is rumored to be, present in. But we shall leave this for next time. And for now, we are ending our game. Okay, so notes. Everyone gets 10 points for character. First of all, game. Everyone gets 50 points for game. Then, everyone gets 10 points for character, even Brian, even though I don't think that you've still dropped Sally, Brian.
How so?
I think that, I really haven't seen the priest today. But I understand that this is a new character, you probably need to,
I mean, I'm trying to be a hermit as well, so he's not necessarily...
Yeah, but...
Like...
Well, I like the way that you approach certain things, but more than later. All right, like I said, 10 points for you. Next time I would advise you to read more in Tome of Salvation about Sigmarites. It will help you a lot. Tome of Salvation is seriously the best thing for anyone playing priests. So read whatever you can. Right. Place of birth, Nordland.
I don't have anything for it yet. I'm still reading up on.
Okay, I'll write you some stuff because I know Nordlanders pretty well. I've roleplayed one a long time ago, but I still remember all the details. It's actually a very cool province to roleplay. Lucas, Talabek Land.
Not a whole lot. Nothing's. I remember something made me think that I was doing because it was Talabek Landish, but I don't remember off the top of my head, so it couldn't have been too important.
I know that your head hurt today, so no worries. That said, before you told me that your head hurt, I was surprised at the elves in the forest. You know that when you are moving through the forest, like Lucas had a great opportunity to roleplay. Then, you know, you're a woodsman.
Well, yeah, he's also beat to crap, and
yeah, but you're not you're not crippled.
right, I know, and I think half the problem is that his mental illness is the kind of mental illness
I know
that overtakes other traits. So, things like religion, things like birthplace are really going to suffer as a result because, it's things that
yeah, I understand. I mean,
might otherwise do or now kind of you don't care about because they don't bring you immediate gratification and or benefit.
Would that be a good stand-in? Is like if you do have an affliction like that to role play that, because that's something that can generate XP.
Affliction never generates XP. Affliction is a penalty. You can never have XP because you roleplay affliction.
Not like Vampire the Masquerade with the paths and whatnot.
If you get affliction, your game becomes a lot harder because you have to roleplay it so that I won't give you minus points for that. Because if I'll see that you're not role-playing your affliction, you get minus points for that. And you still need to like try and, make it work with your normal stuff. So remember about this, guys. That's why what I'm saying is like insanity points are so important in this game. Or, try not to get them is very important in this game, essentially. In the classic World of Darkness you can have afflictions and they work differently, but fortunately we are not role-playing Vampire the Masquerade because this game fucking sucks and I hate it. Thank you. Yeah, so anyway, Lucas, so nothing from you?
I don't really think anything.
Okay, yeah, sure. Vincent?
I don't think I really have anything either, as far as birth location.
Okay. In that case, we shall move to star sign. Brian.
Mine is sign of precision.
Well, the name of the sign, which
Limner's Line.
Limner's Line. Okay. Also, read about this in the Old World Companion, in the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Companion. The star signs there are, they are described, like completely described there. I will make a screen and post it here, like I did before, so you have a reference. I don't remember. Okay. I don't remember what Limner's Line does. Not now.
It's a sign of precision. I'm not sure I fully understand it yet. So, even if I did something like that, it was coincidence.
Also, the descriptions in the rulebook of the star signs do not adapt to the descriptions in the companion, and the companion is in this case, the companion is the more important book. Just like the Old World Armory, is above rulebook when it comes to gear and items. Okay, so nothing for you, Andrew.
Moment the Fool, sensible, intuitive, lucky. I view trying to get rid of an Inquisitor when I know that we're being hunted by Inquisitors is very sensible.
10 points for you.
But I don't know. I don't know if you would view it that way.
No, you know why? I really like, for example, you speaking to Niels about the hammer. I like speaking you to Leopold with the.
I totally forgotten about that.
With the with the head like face covering, like put it down.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
With the Inquisitor, it was nice. Although I still don't understand why you're thinking that they are chasing you. I honestly don't remember that.
Well, from
Nihilus is chasing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but you do remember that Nihilus told you that he's going the other way so as not to chase you. Because
but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean he's the only one. Two, part of I think Lucas's thing is that he's paranoid. I mean that's part of what comes with being what he is that everything that could possibly go against you, somebody's plotting to go against you, right?
Okay.
it's not just wow, that was bad luck. It's I didn't get what I wanted because Joe was trying to screw me.
I like that you guys still think that they're inquisitors essentially, but okay.
Well, but I mean that's what he would kind of view. Like
Yeah.
he is not versed enough in the cult of Sigmar to know the difference between this kind of Sigmarite and that kind of Sigmarite. Like it's one thing to to know that okay, well this is a priest and this is a warrior priest, right? Because you see that enough. But we're talking high level functionaries of the Sigmarite Church. And
no.
at least
I'm not speaking about Johannes because Johannes, of course, that's a different thing. I'm speaking about Nihilus,
right.
Deadeye, and Ariadna. That they're
they were. That's what they were claiming to do. He doesn't know the difference, nor quite frankly would he care.
Sure.
He's going to take them at their word, and essentially anybody of that ilk he's going to assume is probably out to get him.
Sure. Got it. Okay. Like I said, 10 points, but for something completely different.
Yeah.
Jason?
Gungren's Baldric, militant, disciplined, profession of arms.
This is going to be a running joke now with Vincent. Baldric. No.
Well, yeah, Gungren's
That's
ballless.
what a Baldric is that, I mean, it's isn't that what it is? I mean, isn't it a piece of armor that goes there?
Yeah.
Or am I getting confused?
I don't know.
What do they call that? I'm trying to think what they call that. Cod piece.
Cod piece, yeah.
Yeah, cod piece is cloth.
No, cod pieces can be metal. Can be made from metal.
It's okay. No, so the
Yeah.
baldric is the belt that goes across your chest to hold your sword on your. Never mind.
Yeah.
So, this is actually kind of it's a small point, but it's kind of a combination of birth location and being honorable is me volunteering to carry Leopold.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was probably the only point, and so that's kind of a twofer of birth location and.
You can.
That's
you can get points for like the same thing here and here, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I know. I just realized that it could kind of go either way.
Yeah. So I'll give you 5 points for that.
Okay.
Because I haven't given you points for your birth location, I think.
Yeah, correct.
So yeah, but honestly, it's more about your star sign than your birth location. Like I said, Wissenlanders are dour.
Yeah.
Melancholic stuff like that.
No, that's actually really hard to roleplay unless like.
No, I'm a melancholic person personally, so I always found that rather easy. But I get you. Of course, it's different for every single one of us. Like I said,
personally, I am not, so it's kind of it's hard to roleplay.
So, like I said, 5 points for the star sign. Now, Doom. Brian, have you rolled your Doom?
Yeah, the Doom is as the Comet of Sigmar, or the twin-tailed comet doth soar as dust fall.
As dust fall or dust?
Yeah.
Or
dust or dust?
Dust, D-O-S-T.
So it means you.
As the comet rises, I fall.
Yeah. Wow. What a shitty Doom for a priest. Seriously.
Well, I think that worked out for the High Priestess Sigmar. He was like corrupted by the child or whatever, and I told him he needs to go repent.
Oh, that was the part. Okay, cool. Okay, that's good. That's what I like. Okay, I'll give you 10 for that. Sure. So after Doom we have Race. No one is playing anyone else.
You forgot everybody else's Dooms.
Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot about this. Andrew.
The sword shall bring no justice, only suffering. Honestly, that didn't really come up.
Yeah.
There wasn't any real way for that to have come up at this point.
Sure. What about you, Jason?
The darkest rot shall eat thee from within. Vincent was very mindful about being in that camp.
And eating and stuff. I'll give you 10 points for that. Very nice. That's how I like my Dooms to be role played. Oh, by the way, Brian, we've technically cheated when you were role playing Sally because even according to the rule book, when you get your third mental illness, you're out of the game. Your character is just irrevocably
Yeah,
insane.
that was basically a session and a half though, where I wasn't
Yeah.
even really functional as
Yeah.
a character anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, just for the future, remember, guys, 3 mental illnesses, game over. Okay, so we have everything. Like, I don't think there were
Religion.
right, I knew I forgot about something.
Oh.
Brian,
Yeah.
I honestly think that I'm going to give you 0 points for this, unless you're going to convince me why exactly, I presume that you're a staunch Sigmarite, didn't pull out his hammer and smashed Lucas's head when he attacked his superior. The main stricture of Sigmar says obey your superiors, and that's the most important. No, you didn't. You didn't help your superior when he was essentially slapped in the head by some Deadpool-looking motherfucker.
Well, he said it was like a tap to the back of the head. So I addressed
Dude,
Lucas.
come on.
I went and I got the priest.
Imagine Volkmar the Green, the Grand Theogon, is being, patted on the back of the head. What do you think people would do? Oh yeah, it's cool. It's like they're touching his baldness. I mean, yeah. It was incredibly disrespectful to a religious figure of a major standing. You might not like him, but he is your superior. Unless you're telling me, of course, and it's cool. It will be hard to roleplay for you, but it's cool that your character is like Luthor Haas. Luthor Haas. You know who Luthor Haas is.
I have to read, but yeah, I know the name.
Luthor Haas essentially is a priest of Sigmar who told the entire Sigmarite high command, "Fuck you guys, you're corrupt. I'm doing things my own way." And he essentially is riding, traveling the Empire, fighting Beastmen, stuff like that. The Sigmarites want to kill him, the high ups, but the Grand Theogenist thinks he's doing a good job because the Grand Theogenist is a good guy, and so he says that leave him alone.
Also, he's killing lots of bad stuff. I'm sure that doesn't hurt his.
Yeah.
To be
I guess I'm
honest,
going for that in spirit, but not in actuality. You know what I mean?
yeah, because you coming from a cave, that was kind of
He's still a
what I was
Sigmarite
thinking.
priest.
Okay.
And you are still, you have magic, right?
Yeah.
So you are chosen by Sigmar. Honestly, I should give you Wrath of the Gods for that, for not reacting to this kind of thing. Playing a priest is extremely hard, especially if you are anointed priest. You have to.
I thought I was reacting though. I asked Lucas his name and I went and I got the priest.
You should have punched him in the face at the very least. Kill him would probably be normal idea for that.
Well, it got glossed over, but I was addressing Lucas, and then we moved on to something else. I mean, I was.
Like I said, this time it was like first session. But if you are anointed priest of Sigmar, hermit or not, you still know the strictures. You still obey the laws. Sigmarites are, I'm sorry for the word, anal when it comes to obeying laws of their god. Like Myrmidia, for example, is a goddess which allows for some sort of flexibility when it comes to her strictures, because it's all about, fluidity of command and stuff like that. But Ulrich and Sigmar, well, Ulrichans would kill him even faster, honestly, if it would be a priest of Ulrich. So, no Wrath of the Gods this time, because I know that this was your first character, and I'm also sorry that I wasn't able, to write to you more about this priest thing. I will write more to you about this before our next game, so you know what to do or what not to do. But just so you know, Brian, you've chosen a very difficult character for yourself to roleplay, and I as a game master, I'm always taking special care when my players play either a priest or a mage, something which Sean will learn because his next character will be a magician.
Well, to be fair, I wanted to play Ira. I messaged you about it, and you said we needed a priest. And I said I never played a priest before, but I'll try and do it.
If you would play Ira, you would probably very quickly change your character again. I don't think that it would be good, because Slayers are cool for short games, but in a campaign, Slayer will die very quickly.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't probably have much fun from playing him, and you will have. I know that you will have fun from playing priest. You just need to know the ropes, and I'm going to message you about this so that you know what to do. to help you with that. Like I've said, first time I get it, but I can't give you any points for Sigmar now. Not you didn't even spoken a prayer after Leopold asked you to pray for Sally, for their comrade. Again, something.
I made the sign of the hammer. I mean, when the priest was like hiding in the bushes after us, I said that if he were a follower of Sigmar, he would have called out to us.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's cool. That was actually good. But like I've said, this time I can with clear conscience give you points for this. That was probably the only Sigmarite thing that you really did. And it was good. Next time I'm sure it will be better. So let's move to Andrew, but I don't think that...
Nothing. Yeah.
And finally, let's move to Vincent. I will give you points for that. I'm just thinking about whether should I give you 10 or 5.
Yeah, for the little prayer I did for Sally.
But you didn't do anything about the bodies on the road.
I did not. Though that came. You mentioned those after we passed them all.
So why didn't you return?
Retroactively.
Yeah.
Oh. Because we were.
Or why didn't you spoke prayer in their intention, even if you don't want to return to them? Why didn't you do that? It's not an old computer game when you pass a screen you can return. You can, you were able to do this. Same thing in the encampment. I was saying that you are, passing bodies. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
I'll give you 5 because I like the thing with the coins, and the thing with burying the coins was very cool. So Lucas would not see it. But other than this, yeah. Honestly, for example, if you'd be playing Anointed Priest, something like that would also probably bring more displeasure on you. Playing Anointed Priest is very hard.
I'm a follower of more. I'm not a priest of more.
Which means you are, but you are.
I know.
You are a knight of more, and you are still, a holy warrior of your gods, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Any ideas? I don't think that there were any.
Nothing too crazy, I don't think.
Yeah. There were some, there was some talking about killing the kid yourselves, not letting elves do this, but other than that, I don't think so. So, okay, so that's it for today's session. Your points. I think it was a pretty good session. We have finally reached the encampment. Now this game will become even more interesting. This is my 4th time playing this campaign. So yeah. In
that case, I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
Knowing me, you probably shouldn't. But no, just kidding, of course. No, but seriously, we are. I mean, every part of this campaign, at least to me, is great. But some parts are better than others, and we are just arriving at the very good stuff. But nothing more from me, as I will not spoil anything. Okay, guys. So now the least pleasant part of our games, trying to organize another session. I would need all of you next game, except maybe. I mean, Brian, I will also need you, but I would definitely need Sean, Andy, and Jason. So either 11th or 18th, I don't know. I'm away from 25th September to 7th October. Till then, I'm available mostly...
25th of September or 25th of August?
No, 25th of September.
Okay.
But until then,
okay,
I'm mainly... I will be mostly available, like I've said, because I still have a lot of things to do before the wedding.
Yeah, both the 11th and the 18th work for me.
Okay, what about you guys?
I think it works for me too.
Jay?
The 11th and the 18th of August.
Yeah.
I believe either one of those would work.
So let's make it, of course, 11, because it will be in 2 weeks. That said, if Sean will, for example, won't be able to attend, let's schedule it for 18th, okay? If he'll be able to. If not, then
Yeah.
we'll play together on 11th. So far, 11 stays. Okay, guys, it's very late here, and I also need to do a couple of stuff before I go to bed, so I'm going to say my goodbyes to you. Thank you for the game. Brian, I will write to you about this. Okay, I'll help you.
Sure.
I'll help you out, man. Don't get angry at me. Trust me, if you learn the ropes, this character will be better than Sally. But you need to learn the ropes. Okay, and well, that's it. Thank you very much for the game.
Thank you.
Take care,
Alrighty.
guys. Take care of that. Take care of that headache, Andy.
Yeah. Good
Hey,
night of sleep. Will
Drink the
take
pain
care.
away.
Yeah.
This is probably allergy related. A lot of my headaches are so.
Uh,
Are you getting allergies now? Because
Yeah.
I'm getting some, and it's usually a spring and a fall thing. I don't know what I'm getting now.
My allergist was saying that they've had all people having really bad allergies all summer out of character. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's been not great.
All right.
Yep.
okay.
Cool. All right.
Take care, guys.
Alright.
See you on 11th.
Yep. See you then.
Later.
Bye bye.
Yeah.